I
sounds
do.
very busy in the background.
I've got water in my ear still.
From Tory Island?
Yeah, no, from...
What? From what? Oh, from the last time your ear problems?
From Bundoran.
Oh, per you.
I've new eardrops, so it might work, I'm told.
All right, that's still pink.
They're still miming out baby in the background.
No, miming has stopped because I hit the stop button. Did you miss me, Lee? Well, I did, actually. I missed a two-way yamming at each other.
I was asked about you on Tory Island. There's no escaping you at all.
Yeah. Is the big boom of the ship still over there, is it? Did you see it?
What? What's a boom?
The boom, you know, the big masty thing that was on the boat that crashed that time.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, you would have gone out there when you were sailing around Ireland, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that was the boat. One now. Yeah. Come here, nice to be back. You're about today. You're down the road.
I am. I'm just down the road here, and it's great to be back, Gooch.
Yeah, that sounds
at Cancercare West. Sorry, I forgot. Yeah, I'm at Cancercare West here in Letterkenny. We've got to, Lee. And pretty much the 3 hours is sort of discussing the work that they do here, the people that offer the assistance and those that use the services. It's held in incredibly high regard, as you can imagine. So we're just going to get a sample of that throughout the course of the morning, and hopefully people call in and texting and call in and say hello to us and all that stuff. So do I hand over for the news now and say I'll see you tomorrow?
Sure do. I'm going to hit this button.
Who's doing the news?
You go. It's Michaela Clark. So
okay, thank you very much, Lee.
No problem.
All right, it is the 9 till noon show here on Highland Radio. It's just a little after 9. It's time for a news update, and it's over to Michaela Clark.
Thanks, Greg. Good morning. Pat the Cope Gallagher has confirmed he is to seek a Fianna Fáil nomination for the next general election. The former junior minister and MEP lost his Dáil seat in the 2020 general election. Having been nominated by party members to enter the political realm again, the former Lascan Corliss says he seeks to fill what he believes is a vacuum in representation of Donegal in the Dáil. He says experience and determination to get the job done is needed to overcome the challenges facing the county. 2 people were rescued in Donegal last night after being cut off by high tide. Lochs Willie Ornalai has praised the member of the public who raised the alarm. Keisha Conley has more.
Lochs Willie Ornalai were last night tasked after 9:20 p.m. following a report from a member of the public that 2 people had been cut off by high tide in the Lambs Bay area of Lochs Willie. The Atlantic 85 was quickly launched at Ned's Point, and the volunteer crew made their way to the Lambs Bay area. The pair were removed from the rocks and transferred safely to shore. Lochs Willie Ornalai says both were in good spirits. The crew then returned to Ned's Point to refuel and make ready for service again. The Ornalai has thanked the member of the public for contacting Malin Head Coast Guard. If you spot anyone in difficulty or in the water, you're advised to dial 999 or 112 and ask for the Coast Guard.
The Taoiseach says depending on government funding alone to finance RTE wouldn't be sustainable. It was announced yesterday that households will continue to pay the full TV licence cost of €160 a year, but RTE will also get an extra cash injection from the Exchequer. Many within the broadcaster are said to be disappointed with the decision to depend so heavily on a licence fee. However, Micheál Martin says it's necessary to stop media competing with other sectors in future budgets.
The licence fee is required, and I think the 6 million that will go to An Post to improve its capacity to collect the licence fee will mean that there will be a sustainable revenue base into the future. Times change, and it's when times change and when everyone's competing for scarce resources, then the funding of media would not be sustainable. So that's why I think you do need both an increased exchequer allocation, but you do also need the licence fee.
Weather now mostly cloudy for a time today with a little rain, drizzle and some mist in places. Some good spells of sunshine will develop through the afternoon along with scattered showers. Highest temperatures of 16 to 20 degrees. That's all from Highland Radio News for now. We'll be back with news again at 10 o'clock. Until then, good morning.
If you're not with Energy, chances are you're paying more than you need to for your electricity. As Ireland's newest energy provider, we offer Ireland's cheapest electricity rate, saving our customers over €550 a year. So if you want to pay less for energy, simply pay a visit to youknowenergy.ie and sign up for big savings with smaller bills. With Energy, you just know. Energy fixed discount rate EAB €1260. For T's and C's and rates, see youknowenergy.ie. Suppliers' pricing may change.
And now, it's time for the talk of the Northwest, the 9 to noon show with Greg Hughes on Highland Radio.
Hello and a very good morning. You are very welcome along to the 9 till noon show here on Highland Radio. It is Greg Hughes. And thank you very much for Donal, for sitting in for me over the last 3 days. Had a lovely few days off, did some nice things. Maybe we might talk about that later. But anyway, we are broadcasting live today from Cancer Care West in Letterkenny. It's as part of Your Voice, Your Community, and it's in association with Commissioner Mann. And we've got a whole load of guests to introduce to you over the course of the next 3 hours. Some of the people, obviously, that are involved in operating this amazing service, those that avail of it, and whomever else might call in. And you're more than welcome to call in here as well. Our lines remain open as they always do. 086 60 25,000. That's the WhatsApp and text number. 086 60 25,000. You can give us a call to an 074 91 25,000. Or if you want to email, it's comments@highlandradio.com. All right, it is Thursday morning, always a busy one for the newspapers, of course. We'll start with the Tyrconnell Tribune newspaper. And the Tribune understands that Fianna Fáil's Constituency Delegates Committee in Donegal has agreed to a two-candidate strategy for the general election, which doesn't surprise me. The recommendation has been agreed according to sources with one candidate in each of the former Donegal North East and South West areas. The convention is planned for August. Pat the Cope Gallagher has confirmed he is to seek the Fianna Fáil nomination at the convention. We understand that Termon's, the paper does, Ben Harkin, will also seek to have his name in the convention at 23. I think Ben was on the show. Was he on the show with Donal talking about that yesterday? Indeed. He's a member of Ogra Fianna Fáil, is the youngest of the group nominated. The other nominations are Minister Charlie McConnell-Logue, Senator Niall Blaney, and Councillors Micheál Naughton and Donal Mandy Kelly. Geographically, too, there has to be a consideration there, doesn't there, as to how you manage the vote as best as you can. They've been really good at that in the past, so we'll see how that fares. Who do you think the two for Fianna Fáil might be? Of course, Charlie McConnell won. And then I suppose it comes down to, is it Micheál Naughton or Pat the Cope? Not ruling anyone out, by the way. I'm just talking about the obvious, what would seem to be the obvious geographical spread there. On to the Donegal news. They say we did nothing wrong. The director of Donegal-based company DPPS Contracts yesterday refuted claims they breached proper employment practices after their company was named in the Shannon. Johnny McCafferty and Kevin McCafferty's company provide BAM and other major contractors with construction workers. Okay, you can read more about that in that paper, of course. Derry News is primarily a picture. We're living in 200-year-old conditions. Inhabitable. Residents of Derry City Centre apartments raise concerns over living conditions. The full story across 2 pages inside that paper today. Now, the Irish Daily Mail, this is really quite a remarkable story, the RTE funding story in that. What has happened, really, effectively, you could say, is that RTE was found to be pretty loose with public money. I think we can agree on that. People acted all on their own to spend hundreds of thousands of euro. There's a serious lack of accountability, and there was also serious questions as to what money was being spent on. Remember flip-flops and all that type of stuff? Well, the punishment, it seems, is €750 million out of your pocket, really. Effectively, is going to RTE on top of the licence fee. I didn't see this one coming, by the way. I thought there would be different funding models or looking at things in different ways. But anyway, the Irish Daily Mail tells us that rival broadcasters have responded with fury to the government's €725 million bailout of RTE, with the media minister denying it is a blank cheque. The deal will mean RTE is €140 million better off than it was before the deluge of scandals. And it's left the government facing accusations of rewarding all-round bad practice, handing over vast sums based on flimsy reforms and distorting the commercial market. After a year of crisis at the state broadcaster, the TV licence model is to be retained, with the government committing to an unprecedented multi-annual funding top-up from the Exchequer. RTE had sought 1.3 billion over, I'll turn to page 6 here, 1.3 billion over the next 5 years for its reform strategy, with the government agreeing to provide 725 million in the first 3 years, at which point it will review the allocation for the final 2 years. 725 million euro. What a lump of cash to be getting. By contrast, and in fairness to the likes of Virgin Media, who, you know, they do their own output. Of course, there's a lot of dual program with the likes of ITV and all that kind of stuff, but they have their own newsrooms, their own news teams, paying people around the country, doing a public service. We do the same here. Many radio stations across the country do the same, and all have to rely, for the most part, on advertisements and what have you. And then you have RTE engulfed in this huge scandal, and they get $750 million of your money over 3 years. Really quite remarkable. And also, too, on the day, and I'm going to reference this in a later newspaper, and again, listen, I'm not RTE, but just calling it out as it would appear. I don't know if you heard the interview yesterday between Philip Boucher-Hayes and Mary Lou McDonald. Mary Lou McDonald didn't do a fantastic interview, it has to be said, but the level of scrutiny that she faced on the day that this government money was announced for RTE was really quite remarkable. I have never heard a government minister scrutinised about spending and costs and plans the same way Mary Lou McDonald did. And in fairness, the party had only produced a document which outlined their plans, which generally isn't budgeted, but pressed. Conclusions from answers were put out there by the journalist, with no right to reply after that. Crazy stuff, amazing. And I say, it didn't sound too good that this was on the day that the government signed off on €3 billion worth of funding. RTE do lots of good stuff, don't get me wrong. But anyway, what do you think about that? 086 60 25,000. The Independent this morning, the number of officers in the Garda National Immigration Bureau has fallen in the past 2 years, even as the state grapples with a surge in migrants and refugees. A letter last week from Justice Minister Helen McEntee to a Dáil deputy shows there are fewer than 100 officers in the GNIB, which is responsible for the prevention, detection and investigation of illegal immigration. On to the Irish Times now, and I suppose this is not really surprising given the times we live in now, but it's believed drones are being used to deliver unlit petrol bombs to the former Crown Paints warehouse in Coolock, Dublin, which is to be developed into accommodation for mainly Ukrainians. The High Court heard yesterday. Lawyers for the developer and leaseholder of the Malahide Road site, which has been the scene of protests and considerable unrest, said incendiary devices were found near the property, and it seems these were dropped off by drones ready for collection by individuals. Now, this must be one of the most protected sites in the country, and yet night after night it went on fire. Mr. Justice Rory Malachy was told there had been 5 fires at the former paint factory in the 6 days since he granted injunctions restraining people unknown from attending to engage in behaviour calculated to threaten, intimidate or interfere with firms, employees or contractors as they conduct their work at the property. Let's go to the Farmers Journal now. Mounting red tape could blow $3 billion hole in rural economy. Mounting red tape and regulations on farms poses a €3 billion threat to the Irish rural economy and risks almost 30,000 jobs. An Irish Farmers Journal commissioned KPMG report lays bare the economic impacts of changing agricultural policies. Much more, of course, on that, and tons in that paper as well. So the Star has written an article about that interview yesterday between Mary Lou McDonald and Philip Boucher-Hayes. I don't know if you heard it. I listened back to a recording of it last night. Mary Lou McDonald and radio presenter Philip Boucher-Hayes traded blows live on air as the Sinn Féin leader accused him of being rude and not being inquisitive enough. Not in relation to her, though, obviously. She was on RTE Radio 1 talking about the International Protection Policy document launched by Sinn Féin on Tuesday. It focused on carrying out audits in communities to ensure they've sufficient resources to facilitate asylum seekers and more consultation. Tension started to increase between Mr. Boucher-Hayes and Ms. McDonald as they discussed the idea of audits. Mr. Boucher-Hayes said people might misunderstand from listening to you that the audits are actually happening already. This data is being used and there is a process of engagement and consultation that's ongoing. Now, at that point, he moved on. That was a statement. In other words, Mary Lou McDonald had spoken, but he contradicted what she had said and then just moved on to another 40 or 50-second question without giving her a right to reply, which is to say, it's not what you would hear in terms of questioning of ministers. But sometimes, I suppose, they're worried because if you question ministers too hard, perhaps you lose access to them. Who's to say? Miss MacDonald cut across him to say, no, I have to refute that. I have to refute that absolutely, and on it went. On to the Irish Sun now, and we've got some amazing coastal areas of this country, but many are unprotected and incredibly dangerous. And I'm reading just this because, firstly, it's a very sad story, but also to serve as a reminder of the dangers that are out there. A missing boy is feared to have fallen from the cliffs of Moher. A land, air and sea search for the 12-year-old had resumed at the County Clare attraction yesterday morning. It was initially mounted when the alarm was raised at around 2 p.m. on Tuesday. It's understood the boy became separated from his family, who then began a search for him. And that search, unfortunately, had to be called off because the weather has changed and the weather has disimproved, and they had to call that off. And finally, in the Mirror, Bertie Ahern looks likely to launch a bid to become president after bookies slashed his odds of winning 5-1. Michael D. Higgins will vacate the role next year when his second term comes to an end, and former Fianna Fáil Taoiseach Ahern refused to rule himself out of the race last week. Well, he's constantly refusing to rule himself out of the race, which would suggest he's probably going to be in the race. Right, okay, any comments in relation to any of that? 086 60 25,000. Maybe you want to talk about your experience of Cancer Care West here in Letterkenny, or maybe you've got some questions about the services that are provided here. We've got a ton of guests that will be able to help in that regard. If you want to watch the show, of course, and see our guests, it is on YouTube, Highland Radio Ireland. So if you're at home, you can watch on your smart TV or your Fire Stick or on your mobile devices. And also, we're on Facebook as well, Highland Hub, Highland News and Sport. Right. Our first guests on the show so far this morning will be joining us in just a couple of moments.
Coming this year to Dublin for the very first time, 71 shows completely sold out. Hamilton at the Bord Gáis Energy Theatre. Experience the revolutionary musical that's taken the world by storm. Witness history come alive with electrifying performances and unforgettable music with a modern twist. Book your place now on the outlet at highlandradio.com or call us on 074 91 25,000.
This Friday, July 26th, join the United Legends at Voodoo Venue Letterkenny. Starting at 8:30 p.m, enjoy an exclusive drinks reception with Manchester United icons Clayton Blackmore, Yap Stam, Chris Eagles, Brian McClare, Frank Stapleton and more. Meet the legends and relive the glory days in an unforgettable evening. Admission is free. Don't miss this chance to mingle with football greatness. See you at Voodoo Venue Letterkenny this Friday.
It all begins with a thump as the needle nestles into a deep valley of vinyl. Sizzle and crackle turns into fizzle and scratch, and the mesmerizing rotations pop and hiss.
Ah, the crackle of a vinyl record. Just one of the ordinary sounds rediscovered by Sean. Whatever sounds you've lost, our hearing experts could help you find them again. Book a free hearing test at Specsavers.
Skoda's 2 brand new models are going fast. This is Donal, driving off in his new HVO-powered Superb Combi. And the Breen family, getting their plug-in hybrid Kodiaq. And this is the sound of someone who didn't get their order in on time. Order your new Skoda today, before it's too late. Skoda. Let's explore.
Skoda. Your local Skoda dealer is DMG Motors, Clar Road, Donegal Town. Telephone 074 9721 396.
Highland Radio Time Checks brought to you by EirGrid, the operator and developer of Ireland's electricity grid. EirGrid, powering up communities, powering up Ireland. The time is...
where is the time? 19 minutes past 9. You're very welcome back to the programme. It's the 9 till noon show. It's a special 9 to noon show today because we're broadcasting live from Cancer Care West in Letterkenny as part of Your Voice, Your Community. And we're going to welcome onto the programme a few guests here now. Well, we've loads of guests throughout the course of the day. We're not short on guests, which is great. John Donoghue is Centre Lead and Clinical Psychologist at Cancer Care West Letterkenny. Good morning, John.
Good morning to you, Greg.
How are you getting on?
Very well indeed.
It's lovely to have you with us.
Thanks
we
ever
also
so much.
have Noreen Rogers. Good morning, Noreen. Good morning, Greg. Radiotherapy liaison nurse and former nurse at Cancer Care West. And Geraldine Mullen, nurse in oncology ward at Letterkenny University Hospital. Geraldine, good morning to you.
Good morning, Greg.
Right, I just said good morning to make sure all the mics were working and to be polite.
It's good to be useful.
John, lovely up here. I've spoken about this place on a number of occasions, and I've spoken to people that have been up here and availed of the services.
Yeah.
But it is exactly how it was described.
Yes.
It is a
yes.
It's a lovely space. It feels homely.
I think that's what actually people say when they come in. They're quite surprised because the outside of the building obviously isn't that sort of decorous really, but actually when they come in, that's the very first thing people say. It's actually how homely and sort of and warm it is. I think there's a quote that sort of architecture is frozen music, but actually the interior of this is actually kind of very, very welcoming, very homely. I think when people thought about setting up the Cancer Care West Centre here, what was foremost in the mind was actually how to make it as non-clinical, I guess, as possible. So it's a kind of a world away from what people would usually associate with a sort of a standard clinical space. Really.
But there's no coincidence to that, really, is there?
No.
Because it's a space where people can come up, have a cup of tea, have a cup of coffee,
yes.
and
I think the surrounds and the environment are key elements. They're kind of almost subliminal elements, but what they do is they ground people quite a bit, and you can literally see people relax and sort of settle down. So the environment, the furnishings, the kind of the carpet and floor, we have. It's not here, but in the two other rooms, the clinical rooms, it's almost like a mini living space, and that's conducive to what we want to do here. We want to actually kind of help people feel contained, calm, kind of as if they can kind of breathe a little bit in the midst of what is a pretty challenging situation.
Yeah, it is, and that's the key, isn't it? Because sometimes it's hard to get that understanding of or comfort from home, even with the most loving people. You know what I mean? It's just you need some time to get out of that space and into a different space.
I think that's worth saying as well, because there is the medical team, there are people's friends and families, but we're sort of a drift of both in one sense, and that has its huge privileges because people can feel that they can speak to us, and it doesn't feel like it's having ripple effects elsewhere. Yeah. So that offers a kind of a freedom, really, in the sense that a kind of a psychological freedom, if you like.
Because often too, when someone is diagnosed with cancer, they often have to be the strongest person in the house, in that they have to deal with the diagnosis.
That's a really interesting
point.
But
then what they tend to also have to do, and I think it's particularly with women here, and if I get cancelled for that, that's okay too, they end up having to counsel everybody else to say everything's going to be okay,
there is a degree,
even though whatever it might be going through
there is
mind.
A degree to that. Actually, it's a really interesting point. I'm glad you raised it, because what people would say sometimes is that they feel that they have to preserve hardship on loved ones, especially. Being ill, there's a quote I think from research that was done in the UK, and what she talks about being in St. Bart's Square in London, and crying in the soft rain, and she felt that she had let everybody down. So there's a terrible vulnerability to shame, or to sort of a sense of letting people down, and you would want to lessen that. You would want to lessen that burden on loved ones. So I think in that sense we offer that forum where people can actually give voice, give vent to what often is kind of pent up and sort of contained anxiety, and actually being able to put words on some of the anguishes, some of the kind of darker thoughts perhaps that people would inevitably entertain over the course of the whole cancer journey.
Yes, but we see this as different people at all different levels. One of the worst things you can do with anything, and it could be a cancer diagnosis or it could be nothing, depending on your mental state, is actually just to internalize it and get into sort of this circular thinking of things. You come in here, you get it out, and then...
Well, that's the substance of worry, isn't it? Stuff just kind of goes round and round, and that leads to other things that go round and round, and then leads to other things that go round and round, and that's the sort of heartbeat of anxiety.
Because often the anticipation of something is worse than the event or whatever it might be. Often, not all the time, but often.
Yeah, like uncertainty, not knowing. The uncertainty and not knowing is quite tough on people. And so being able to give voice to that, being able to connect, to be reassured as well, kind of a little bit of a phrase that I use with people is, this too will pass. And what we find is that the anguish does pass over time with the help of us and with help of my colleagues here as well. We're very, very containing.
Yeah, I've an awful lot to talk to you about, John. Geraldine Mullen, nurse in the oncology ward at Letterkenny University Hospital. How do you view this centre, and I suppose how, in your communication with your patients, do you introduce the notion of the centre?
I suppose, Greg, for us, like patients, when we meet them, first and foremost, and outpatients, we're all cogs in the one wheel, and I suppose to look after our patients holistically, this centre is amazing. I suppose from the chemotherapy end of things, we can look after them physically, but from a psychological point of view, the service here that we have in Cancer Care West is amazing. There's a multitude, for people to drop in and know the service that they have, be it yoga, be it reflexology, be it one-to-one counselling with John and the other therapists, be it the support groups. I suppose at the end of the day, we want to get our patients through their treatment safely. And, what I would say to patients who would maybe have, second thoughts about, I don't know whether it is for me, I would say just pop in. It's a beautiful, homely place. It's like home away from home. And for us, from the clinical setting, yes, we want to get them through their treatment, but we want to be there and help them any way we can. So, I would tell our patients about it, tell them it's here. And then if there's patients that we're concerned about, that maybe we see that, anxiety is an issue or that they are struggling, then we can refer them and say, John can do one-to-one, Tricia is amazing. All the people here, Elaine, I'm not going to forget all the names, apologies, but...
I was going to say, you start now with one.
Yeah, no, but like as I said, it's a beautiful service, and as I said, since its inception, 7 years ago, it's just grown from strength to strength, and again, a lot of it word of mouth. I met a lovely patient I looked after 15 years ago, and she's over there now, and she's coming to a support group. So, it's amazing that they know about it, and it's great that you're showcasing the amazing work that they have here this morning, Greg, because that's what people need to know. Just drop in, see the amazing work they do, and, as I said, for us to get our patients through their treatment safely, we will say to them, and, we'll refer them as need be.
Yeah, because, often to appreciate what we have, you have to sort of imagine what it was like before it was there, or if it weren't there any longer, and it offers great... And when you talk about a hesitancy, is it that sometimes people, and everyone's individual, and lots of people might not engage in services like this, but when people go, it's not for me, is it because they're maybe more private, or they think they can handle things on their own? Is there a pattern that you see there?
I suppose, like, when you think of it, Greg, for somebody to get a cancer diagnosis, their life changes overnight, so you go from being a mum or a dad or a brother or sister to now having uncertainty, as John said. So the hesitancy is probably just fear and worry, and I suppose we take so much control away from them that, I suppose here it gives them a bit back of control and, safety. That's the way I would describe it, because, for the patients, it's such an untold time. They're being told they can't go here, they can't go there, you have to mind yourself, don't get infections. So I suppose the hesitancy is just, they're trying to mind themselves. So I suppose for us, it's to make them aware that there are support groups, that there are amazing support available for them. So, it's just to make them sure, and for them to know that we can help them whatever way we can, because I suppose we're trying to help them on their journey.
Yeah, and I suppose people will choose, if they do choose, to access the types of these services whenever it suits them best. Isn't that the way
exactly.
it works?
Could I jump in there?
John,
really,
you
as
can
well?
jump all over the place.
On just that is, I guess the literature would kind of confirm this, but a lot of people run into the psychological difficulties in the aftermath of the very intense, I suppose, relationship with the medical team. So people are virtually in and out to hospital, on a very regular basis over the course of months and months, and then that comes to a stop, and then it's like free fall, and that's when people feel that they kind of all come apart a bit at the seams. They think, well, am I done? Is this disease going to come back? How safe am I? And then there are the residual sort of physical effects, like people's bodies are literally, the nurses here will tell you more on that, but people's physical body is not the same as it was in the aftermath of pretty much sort of very sort of heavy treatments.
And I'm not saying that we're all the same, okay, but I do know from the experience in my family is when, there comes a point, and hopefully it's good news, and often it is, and the person is told, I don't know exactly what they're told, but what they bring home is I've got the all clear, or the cancer's gone, or something along those lines. And I think everyone around them then all of a sudden breathes this sigh of relief and starts worrying about mortgages and other stuff again. But the person obviously at that point, he doesn't want to have a cliff edge. They have, as you say, the concern of it returning and all the other stuff, and the physical, often the physical sort of impacts of it. But everyone else kind of moves on and goes, right, Mom's safe now, so I can worry about other
they're going to be getting the signals from people, because what people would say is that, well, you're looking grand, your colours come back. The colours come back to your skin. Not in my case, obviously, but the hairs come back. And all kinds of things.
Well, it's kind of come back about 40%.
Yeah. Thanks very much.
You brought it in.
It's good I've got thick skin. That's it, really.
Well, listen,
I've been called worse, I can tell you.
As a man who gets the same type of haircuts, you have to develop a thick skin. I'll come back to you in a second, if that's all right, because I haven't spoken to Noreen yet. Noreen Rogers, radiotherapy liaison nurse and former nurse at Cancer Care West. Noreen, what do you want to focus on in this conversation?
I suppose really that I just want to tell you about how Cancer Care West started here in Letterkenny. There was, I suppose, a little bit of serendipity between Letterkenny Hospital and Cancer Care West from the beginning. And that is back as far as 2009, we on oncology and cancer services really recognised that there was a lot of psychological care that we weren't able to offer our patients. And we, led by our oncology nurse practitioner, Janice Richmond, we developed a business case, and we developed a proposal to develop a cancer support centre at Letterkenny Hospital. But the floods came in 2013 and our dreams were washed away. However, about a year later, Richard Flaherty and Dr. Helen Greeley, clinical psychologist at Cancer Care West, came to visit us in Letterkenny. And they also recognised that as well, that Letterkenny needed a cancer support centre. So they were speaking to the converted, and we grasped this with both hands. They recognised it because they had patients from Donegal in Galway staying, having cancer treatment, radiotherapy and chemotherapy, and using their support centres. And then when they came back to Donegal, there was nowhere to refer them back to. So we got working very quickly together. Grania McGettigan was the fundraising for the Cancer Care West, and she worked tirelessly, and she actually found this building here, and it was modelled on the Cancer Care West Centre in Galway, which was a very well established unit, from the furnishings to the way we started. I had the privilege of being there at the opening of this centre in 2017. Dr. Charlene Haughey was the clinical psychologist, and Alison McCollum was the other nurse, oncology nurse. Grania McGettigan supported us and done tireless fundraising, and of course the people of Donegal, they fundraised tirelessly, and through all these donations, that's how this service became here, really. So we worked with the hospital, Dr. Karen Duffy in the hospital. Charlene Haughey started the psychology service here in the centre, but she also came and visited people in the hospital, and we developed great ties from the very beginning. I worked part-time here and part-time in the hospital, so we developed a great team working, and we continue that on today, and that's really, that team has always been worked well. We developed then nursing support and education groups here. We developed the lymphadema workshops. We went on to develop the yoga service. Later on, Alison McCollum, she developed the reflexology service, and I went back to work in the hospital. But we had other wonderful nurses that came here and developed and enhanced the services. Mary Freel, Clodagh McGuinness and Rita Marn. And really the services went on from there. And John then came in 2019.
So this is, John, this is exclusively a charity? Or do you get any core funding at all?
There is core funding. We get funding from 3 different sources. There are sort of independent grant applications that the The charity as a whole actually applies for, pretty successful at that. So there are independent pots of money. We get some funding from the HSE as well. But I would say we get funding as well from obviously the fundraising aspect of things.
Is that a significant part?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
So,
yes.
with that in mind, do you struggle to? It's not a competition, of course, but to differentiate yourself from other services. I'm thinking sort of like the Irish Cancer Society, or obviously the Donegal Hospice is held very close in a lot of people's hearts.
I think sometimes there is the case that people do intermix us with the Irish Cancer Society. That happens quite a bit. It's not just with us; it's with other charities across the country, because obviously the ICS is quite a well known. But we work hard, and I think to establish ourselves as a different organisation. We are definitely a West of Ireland organisation. I think it's worth saying as well that it's not just the centre here. Cancer Care West has Inisheven, also called a lodge, down on the grounds of the hospital in Galway. And just some stats on that. Since it's been over the last 10 years or so, it has offered 718 patients accommodation. So on average, a patient would stay for about 24 nights over the course of, say, 5 weeks. And that amounts to about, I think about 17,000 bed nights.
Yeah.
So that's a considerable, kind of achievement.
And
so
I think really the success.
That's the hard work of sort of the Cancer Care West organisation. Really.
And I think, Geraldine, how long has this place been established now here?
Well, here we opened our doors mid 2017.
Yeah. Okay. So I remember doing the interviews in advance of that. Then, for sure, there was lots of different stuff that was ongoing. But the one thing that was the one thing that people were talking about, and we've heard about it today, is that people saw what was working well in Galway, and you referenced this to some extent, Noreen, didn't you?
Yes.
That when you come back to Donegal, there was nothing, and I do remember that being, we've seen what works in Galway. Why can't it be up here? And now look at here we are. It's amazing.
Yeah, we have to really thank Cancer Care West for not alone recognising the need, but actually providing the service. So we really are grateful to Cancer Care West for bringing the service to Donegal.
Geraldine, anything you want to add?
I think just for our patients, that it's great that we have it here locally. I would encourage all patients even just to drop in and see the services that they avail of, and I suppose first and foremost not be afraid, because we just want to make sure that they know the wonderful work that they do, and it's a listening ear, or it's a yoga lesson, or it's one-to-one, or it's having a friendly chat, because it's such a lovely space.
Yeah, and I suppose as a caregiver like yourself, you want people to get better, and you want them to get through it as best as possible. It's comforting that you can sort of signpost to something that helps in the work that you're doing as well.
It's like what Noreen said. We just want to get through, our patients through their treatment safely, and we can offer so much, but as I said, we all work together. The way I look at it, it's teamwork, and what we can't give them in the hospital, they can give down here in a multitude of ways. So
I was recently in a conversation with a client, and I made a bet with them that I try and get in this phrase today at some point, and I hope they're listening in. And they said, I'm very complimentary. They said I was like Xanax in human form. But what you could say is our building is a bit like Xanax in building form, that we kind of sort of neutralise the sort of the anxiety out of things. We kind of stabilise people, and I think there's a lovely the relationship between LUH and ourselves actually has prospered. I'm in an unusual position of the psychologist from outside of HSE that actually is in the MDT and on the wards of the hospital. So that's a slightly unusual thing. Across the, it's not often you'd get that across the nation. So it's certainly a relationship that we want to see consolidate and even prosper over the course of time.
Did you want to add something too?
Yeah, I just wanted to tell you about a lady who just was recently telling me about her cancer journey, and she described it as being like an earthquake where everything had been displaced and she felt nothing could come back together again. But thankfully now she is getting to her treatment, and she is starting to put the pieces of her life back together. But she said a lot of that was through the support she got here in Cancer Care West. And, that's really encouraging for us to hear that. And she even said she was even now starting to look forward to the future.
Oh, I love
so that's a big.
It's an amazing gift, isn't it?
It
And
is,
you don't hear all of it, but we often hear people say the amazing experience they've had here, and keep coming back as well, which we'll probably talk about a little later on in the show. I do have to take a break, unless there's something pressing you want to say.
Well, at some point, maybe I would want to talk about maybe the other things that have kind of developed over sort of.
As I say, we've loads of time. We've pretty much given the show over to this just to recognise the importance of it and all that stuff. Right, okay, it is the 9 till noon show here on Highland Radio. You just heard from John Donoghue, Centre Lead and Clinical Psychologist. And I'm sure we'll hear more from John a little later on today. Thanks so much to Noreen Rogers, Radiotherapy Liaison Nurse and former nurse at Cancer Care West. And also Geraldine Mullen, nurse in the Oncology Ward at Letterkenny University Hospital. Back with more in the show in about 4 minutes.
Do you need a little extra help staying in your home? At Bluebird Care, we offer a wide variety of QMark-approved personalised home care services across Donegal. And our fully trained and committed staff will always meet your care needs with kindness, compassion and dignity. To get your personal home care assessment plan, visit bluebirdcare.ie or call our care team today on 07491 29562 and bring care home.
Transform your home with Hegarty's Home Interiors in Buncrana. Discover a wide selection of stylish furniture and decor to create your perfect space. Our expert team offers personalised advice to match your style and budget. Visit us on Main Street, Buncrana. Open Monday to Saturday 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. or visit hegartyshomeinteriors.ie. Hegarty's Home Interiors, making homes beautiful since 1946.
I've been surfing all morning at FlemingLTD.com to find out about Fleming doors, Fleming steel and Fleming coatings and their full range of products. So come surfing with me at FlemingLTD.com. Fleming, 91 48 234.
Now we'll leave you with this. She roared at me the other day.
Comedy on the Coast. Neil Delamere brings his Neil by Mouth tour to the 4-star Great Northern Hotel Bundoran, Friday 2nd of August. Tickets from €27, now on sale from hotel reception and Ticketmaster.ie. Presented by Joe Gallagher Entertainments.
29,000 jobs and €3 billion on the line. For more in your Irish Farmers Journal, here's Paul Mooney.
Our exclusive KPMG report lays bare the cost of mounting red tape on farming in the rural economy. New 70% slurry storage grant to finally open. Find out when you will get your acre scorecard. Tensions run high as straw scheme row rumbles on. Teagasc confirms drop in farm incomes. Fresh questions over targets for rewetting land. And retailers refuse to cooperate with agri-food regulator.
All inside this week's Irish Farmers Journal.
The brand new Therapy Clinic Letterkenny is celebrating with a grand opening from 6 to 8 p.m. on Thursday, July 25th. Come down and explore the brand new Irish-owned clinic. The 5,000 square foot clinic and the expert team are offering customers a wide range of aesthetic treatments such as anti-wrinkle injections, laser hair removal, advanced skin treatments and free consultations. To find out more, visit therapyclinic.com.
Arriving at Platform 2, preserving wildflowers.
I'm getting this one.
You might see my sister Mary.
Mary Dunn! I know her well. Where are you off to?
I'm getting the lace-making line.
This is me. Enjoy the event.
Give my best to Mary.
Heritage connects us all. Get your ticket to new adventures at heritageweek.ie, August 17th to 25th.
National Heritage Week is a programme of the Heritage Council, supported by the local authorities' heritage teams and the Department of Housing, Local Government and Heritage.
Your brand new Nissan is waiting for you at A Motors. Don't worry if you've missed out on the 242 pre-sales. We have a wide variety of Nissan cars to suit you, including the SUV of the year, the Nissan X-Trail. Avail finance offers starting at 0% or save €10,000 off the Nissan Leaf. Visit imotors.ie and get immediate delivery today or visit our showroom.
Easy Living Furniture's sizzling summer sale ends this Sunday. Don't miss out as absolutely everything's reduced across sofa, dining, bedroom, mattress and accessories. Summer sale ends Sunday at Easy Living Furniture, Crescent Link Retail Park, Derry, Londonderry, or online at easylivingfurniture.co.uk.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, Easy Living has it all. Easy Living Furniture, luxury furnishings, affordable luxury.
Highland Radio weather updates brought to you by McElhenney's. Make your sterling go further with our new cash sales exchange rate at €1.20 for every £1 spent in store. No matter the weather, visit us in Ballybuffet for all your fashion, beauty, gifting and homeware needs this summer.
So it's mostly cloudy for a time today with a little light rain, drizzle and some mist in places. However, some good spells of sunshine will develop through the afternoon. Some scattered showers will develop too for the afternoon and evening. A few heavy, but look, the weather's going to be much better for us over the next few days than it has been in the past. And we are broadcasting live from the beautiful, relaxed, comfortable surroundings of Cancer Care West in Letterkenny. It's part of Your Voice, Your Community. We're pretty much dedicating the whole show to talk to those, as we've already heard, who were instrumental in the establishment of this centre, that see the importance of it, and what has been added on. We might get John back on to talk about sort of the services that have been added on if we don't touch on them through the course of it. Why has everyone gone quiet? That's really weird. Okay, it's fine. You can make noise. We're out of the studio. You don't have to whoosh so dramatically all at once. Right. Okay. We have a number of guests with us. Liz Ferris, who came to use Cancer Care West services for her own reasons, which we'll talk about in a moment. Liz, good morning.
Good morning, Greg. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you keeping?
I'm good, thanks. Good.
Very good indeed.
Yeah.
And I have a book in my hands called Growing Through Grief. We found it on the bookshelves here, and this is yours.
That is
you
mine.
wrote this. Congratulations.
I did, yeah.
And it's still available.
It is available on Amazon.
Okay, and it's
Kindle.
called Growing Through Grief. What's it about?
It's about grief and how people with suffering from grief, and it's all kinds of grief. Grief can be from losing your dog, to losing your job, to losing your business, to losing your body, part of your body. So it's really all about that.
And in fact, rather than it taking from you, you use it, do you, to sort of grow as a person or emotionally grow? Or I haven't read it, so I'm trying to read through the lines on the title.
Yes, emotionally growing is really what it's all about.
Yeah.
Because I think when you're on the journey of cancer, it is a journey. And lots of people who are listening now, they're going through the journey. They mightn't even be diagnosed yet, but they will be on the journey eventually. Yeah. You know, and maybe not, but maybe somebody they know might be on the journey. So the idea of why I wrote Growing Through Grief is because I was on the journey, and I wanted to talk to people who were also on their own journey. So I've interviewed loads of people you know who have lost people, and it's all in the book. I'm working on Growing Through Grief too at the moment.
Yeah, of course, it's an onward journey,
It
and
is,
that
yes.
word's kind of become a bit of a catch-all, but
Yes.
it means different things to different people,
Absolutely.
of course. Both you and your husband, Jim, have cancer.
That's
You're
right.
relatively new to the area, are you?
No, well, I'm not. We've visited Donegal for the last years and years
Yeah.
and years, right? So I would say no, but I have retired to the area,
Okay.
right, last year.
Yeah.
But I spent COVID up here, and we love Donegal, I have to say. Love Dublin. I'm a Dub, but we love Donegal.
All right, okay. And why talk to us about how you came to use the services and what benefit has been to you?
Okay, so obviously being a cancer patient, I have breast cancer that metastasized to my spine, and I found that I couldn't walk. I was in a bad place, right? And Cancer Care West, I have lymphedema from my cancer as well, so Cancer Care West helped me with that. First of all, that was the first thing, was Cancer Care West helped me, was my lymphedema.
And that's with massages and what have you, is it?
Lymphedema massage, which is different to ordinary massage.
Yeah.
You know,
Is that about retention, fluid retention?
it is.
Okay.
So my lymph nodes don't, because once they're interfered with, they're not.
Okay.
They don't work as well as they should.
And that's not actually talked about an awful lot
It's not,
from breast.
no.
I mean,
No.
obviously it is amongst those affected and patients and what have you, but I think more widely, you know, I remember with people around me too, you know, the arm starting to swell up, and it's like, well, what's going on?
That's right,
Yeah.
yes. And most people who have cancer, if their lymph nodes are affected, they have lymphedema of some kind. And my lymphedema was in the breast, which is very unusual, breast lymphedema.
Okay.
So my breast lymphedema really was hard to diagnose and hard to treat, but I got it treated.
And lymphatic massages aren't widely available outside of a setting like this?
No, they're not.
Yeah.
And I was getting it in Dublin, and when I came to Donegal, I thought, well, now what am I going to do? And my daughter directed me to Cancer Care West.
Did she?
She did.
So she's on the good list.
Well, she lives in Letterkenny and has lived in Letterkenny for
brilliant.
years.
So she knew about it and was able to...
She knew about my pain.
What's your personality like before? Would you be inclined to sort of get involved in something like this? Is it in your personality, or did you have to sort of go, right, I might have to challenge myself a little bit here?
I'm in sales, so I think I'm used to out meeting people and that. But here is different because it's all about me.
Yeah.
So in Cancer Care West, it's about you. When you're on your cancer journey, you tend to think of other people. You don't tend to worry about yourself, and that's what Cancer Care has done for me. It has made me think about me and what I need, and that's really what I would say. It's a safe place to
and
come
how
to.
important, I mean, say for instance, right, okay, your actual condition and your state of health,
Yes.
the part of the treatment that you're in or whatever, right, that's all one thing.
Yes.
How important then is it how you feel about yourself? Do you know what I mean? Whether you feel that you look good or you look fresh, or, you know, because I know here they do sort of hair and makeup and what have you, and that suits some and doesn't suit others.
Yeah.
How important is it when you're sort of feeling down with everything else that's going on to get a sort of a bit of a lift in how you feel and look?
Okay, for me, it's very important.
Right.
For other people, it mightn't be as important,
course, yeah.
you know, because everybody's on their own journey with cancer, you know, and cancer affects you different ways. But for me, I want to look well. I need to be that person who always looks well. I don't
And you
want
do,
to
by
be.
the way, today as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know, I'm still getting treatment now, and Cancer Care West is not a panacea for cancer,
Yes.
but it is part of the team. You get your team around you, and my team is part of it. Is Cancer Care West.
And your husband Jim
Yes.
also, your husband Jim's also got cancer as well.
He has,
so it's
yes.
been challenging because, you know,
Very
in life,
challenging.
you had your plans, and we all make plans, don't
Yeah,
we?
absolutely.
And your plans were to come back here, and
Yeah.
everything's in place, and then sort of like this wrecking ball comes in,
Yes.
and not only affects one of you, affects the other, and it
Yeah.
just it realigns everything, I presume. And you go, well, this
Absolutely.
is not what we were planning, because we were supposed to be walking up and down the beach and not coming in here and out there.
And you're so right, Greg, and that's what happened to us. However, the way I look on it is, cancer, yes, it affects, it stopped us doing our plans were put aside, we'll say, but we have a different plan now, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You have to be okay with whatever the world hits you with, and that's the way we look on it. We don't look on, we're not victims, and Cancer Care West does not treat you like a victim. It treats you like a person.
And it's funny, the language that you use, everyone likes their own language, or I know some people that are not really comfortable with being called a survivor, for an example. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I try and be really careful to use whatever language the person wants, because it's their personal and lived experience. All right, stay where you are. Aidan McPhillips, diagnosed with prostate cancer and also a member of the Men's Morning. Good morning to you, Aidan.
Good morning, Greg.
Right, you 7 years ago is when you got diagnosed, isn't it? Can I ask you sort of what made you think something was up and you needed to get checked, or?
Well, I was living in Galway City at the time, and I was just feeling very, very tired and very, very off. And I went to check up with the doctor, and it was a sort of an afterthought, because I was quite young to have for prostate cancer. So, as a sort of, I think maybe sort of to pacify me a bit, he suggested a panel of bloods, and as an afterthought just threw in a PSA tester as well. So that came back, and unfortunately it sort of set the ball rolling. There was a problem with my PSAs. So I was then diagnosed when I was in Galway, and subsequently went through 2 years of treatment with that. And that's in Galway City. I first got contacted with Cancer Care West.
So the lodge you would have been going to then at that point?
Well, it was Cancer Care West, the building, the lodge you stay in.
Sorry, that's the accommodation. The lodge is the accommodation, of course. Yes, go ahead.
They have a building very, very similar to this, actually. And I went there and had some one-to-one counselling and so on. I had problems dealing with the diagnosis.
And also too, then you thought you had the all clear, and it came back.
I then come back to live again in Donegal after the treatment there, and then 2 years ago, PSA started to rise again.
Yeah, because you would be getting regular tests, obviously, and that.
Every 3 months I was having my bloods tested, and it, cut a long story short, I'd come back again, and I've just finished 10 months of treatment, and everything's looking good, and everything's working out pretty okay.
Yeah, you, it says in my notes here, you live alone.
I do.
Right, so, I think even when you live with people, you have all these thoughts running around your head. Of course, when something's gone and it comes back, and then you think you've got it sorted again, you're going to feel every 3 months, I don't know how long it is before the next round of blood tests, but you're probably going, bloody hell, is it going to come back again? You go through these cycles, I presume.
Yeah, you're constantly living with that, and 3 months would pass, and it had risen again and again and again, until eventually they decided, we'll do a deep scan, which they did, and it confirmed it. And and that's.
So in terms of sort of living on your own, how important then was it to take part in the men's morning and other services here?
That was extremely important, as I say, no one to talk to, living on my own. I was having a one-to-one with John O'Donoghue, and John suggested the men's group, and to have other men who had been through a similar experience, and meant some of it got through it as well. It was a breath of fresh air. I'm
glad that you're doing well again. Myra, good morning to you. How are you keeping?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Okay, very good indeed. 2021 was when you were diagnosed. At what point of the whole journey or process that you were going through did you sort of become aware of these services, and how important have they been for you?
Well, I was aware of the services before I was ever diagnosed, but after my diagnosis, I was just focusing on getting through my surgery and my treatment, and I felt that I was doing okay, but then started to get overwhelmed, and I realized that I needed some support. Now, I have a very supportive family at home, but I just felt that I needed an outlet where I could process my fears and my emotions, and Cancer Care West was the place to get that support.
And you've been talking to John as well.
Yeah.
Reflexology, massages, they've helped with you.
Yes.
You go to classes on Wednesdays?
I do. I actually go to Pilates.
That's all here?
Yes, and Tai Chi.
Right.
And they're brilliant classes. They're very, very beneficial for us health-wise. They're also a social outlet, like we get to meet the other people who are taking part, and we have fun.
But it keeps you physically
It does keep me physically fit, yes, yes.
You have a battle on your hands. You want to be
you want to be as
strong
fit as you can be,
yeah.
because they are so beneficial for your core strength, your muscles, flexibility.
And of course, you're also doing the 3 monthly surveillance scans.
I am, yes.
Do you have a cycle when the anxiety starts ramping up a little bit? Or?
About a week before your scans due, you can feel the anxiety building.
And do you find that's when you might be more inclined to pop in here and have a chat?
Exactly, and just get some help and grounding you and grounding your fears, because you're always maybe one scan away from something changing, and that
I suppose
can
we all
be,
are, aren't we, really?
That can be very frightening.
Of course, yeah, I can imagine. But this is a big thumbs up for you in these services.
Oh, definitely.
Okay,
I would
brilliant.
recommend it to anybody going through their cancer journey.
A quick one from you, Aidan. We might be less inclined as fellas to avail of these services. Do you want to say, just to encourage that it's for men as well?
Indeed. I can, on a personal level, it was a game changer for me to be able to come here and speak with men in particular, and issues around prostate cancer in particular.
Yeah.
And I would recommend it. Anyone dealing with a diagnosis out there, please get in contact here, and you'll find a very confidential professional service.
Brilliant. And Jim says the same, does he?
Yes, Jim comes here, and we both find that Cancer Care West, it just ticks a box for us, it really does.
Brilliant.
And we to say we enjoy it is probably true. We actually enjoy coming here.
Lovely. Okay, what a nice note to finish this hour on. Thank you very much indeed, all three of you. That's Aidan, Myra, and Liz. Back with more after the news and obituary notices.
On Business Matters this week, I'll be speaking with Steve Bradley of Into the West about the prospects of re-establishing a rail link between Letterkenny and Derry, and also Larissa Feeney of the Donegal Women in Business Network about its big 25th anniversary event. So join me, Chris Ashmore, for Business Matters after the 6 o'clock news on Sunday.
Business Matters on Highland Radio is brought to you by Local Enterprise Office Donegal. If you have an idea to start or grow your business within Donegal, contact the Local Enterprise Office team to find out more about the supports available for businesses. See localenterprise.ie/Donegal.
Bus Éireann is looking for professional driving contractors with coaches, minibuses and taxis to join Ireland's school transport scheme. So be a pillar of your community, help steer our children to a brighter future and start your day with happy smiling faces. Sign up at buséireann.ie/contractors. Bus Éireann operates the school transport scheme on behalf of the Department of Education.
Michael Henny's summer sale is here. Grab your favourite designer brands for a fraction of the price. We have a massive 50% off your favourite designer fashion, home, jewellery and beauty brands. Make your savings go further on sterling cash purchases with a €1.20 rate. Shop the sale rails this summer at Michael Henny's Bala Buffet or online at michaelhennys.com.
Live, on air, online and on the Highland Radio app. This is Highland Radio News.
Good morning, just gone 10 o'clock. Donald Kavanagh at the news desk. Patrick O'Gallagher has confirmed he will be seeking the Fianna Fáil nomination for the next general election. The former junior minister and MEP lost his Dáil seat in the 2020 general election, having been nominated by party members to enter the political realm again. The former Lascon Corless says he wants to fill what he believes to be a vacuum in representation of Donegal in Dáil Éireann. He says experience and determination to get the job done is needed to overcome the challenges facing the county. 2 people were rescued in Donegal last night after being cut off by high tide. Lough Swilly Ornelai has praised a member of the public who raised the alarm. With more, here's Quisha Connolly.
Lough Swilly Ornelai were last night tasked after 9:20 p.m. following a report from a member of the public that 2 people had been cut off by high tide in the Lambs Bay area of Lough Swilly. The Atlantic 85 was quickly launched at Ned's Point and the volunteer crew made their way to the Lambs Bay area. The pair were removed from the rocks and transferred safely to shore. Lough Swilly Ornelai says both were in good spirits. The crew then returned to Ned's Point to refuel and make ready for service again. The Ornelai has thanked the member of the public for contacting Malin Head Coastguard. If you spot anyone in difficulty or in the water, you're advised to dial 999 or 112 and ask for the Coastguard.
Concerns been expressed by the Mayor of Letterkenny and Milford Municipal District that skip bags are being used in lieu of bins by some homes in the area. Councillor Jerry McMonigal told members such bags have their place but shouldn't be outside a house for more than 3 days. In some cases, he said, they can be there for months, and that's unacceptable. Councillor McMonigal says it's vital that an official policy be implemented by the council as quickly as possible.
We learned that the hard way during the election campaign, where we went into many housing developments in the States, and people were, rightly so, I have to say, complaining about these SAMI-type bags, which were sitting outside houses for weeks and weeks and sometimes months, which are being used for household waste, which are not designed to do. We can do nothing about it because we have no policies around it. So it's imperative, I think, that we as a council put in place a policy and we ensure that that policy is adhered to.
Donegal County Council has confirmed its public consultation on new bylaws governing speed limits in the county will begin on this day week. It's proposed to reduce the limits on some roads from 80 to 60 kilometres an hour. Over the course of the following 30 days, the draft bylaws and supporting documentation will be on display at County House in Lifford, the public services centres in Carndonagh, Donegal Town, Dunloe, Letterkenny and Milford, and in the Base Enterprise Centre in Stranorder. The documentation can also be viewed online. Submissions can be made online or in writing, with full details and links available on our website, highlandradio.com. Older, smaller office blocks that are empty would be ideal to be converted into homes. That's according to the housing spokesperson for the Royal Institute of Architects, after Ireland's competitiveness watchdog suggested such a move. The vacancy rate for commercial office space is at its highest level in a decade as the working from home trend continues. Claire McManus, director of JFOC Architects, says some of the larger, newer office blocks wouldn't work.
It is a good idea and it would need to be looked at on a kind of case-by-case basis. Look at each office and see what the potential is. But But absolutely, yeah, if there's vacant office space and if there's a change in work patterns, more people working from home, then why not have a look at the offices and see if they're suitable.
A discovery by scientists at Queen's University in Belfast could lead to a major breakthrough for diabetes patients. It's hoped new treatments could be developed using the new research method. With more, here's Tara Griffiths.
Researchers in the labs have grown a model version of human blood vessels from people with diabetes. It could be a new way for scientists to study how diabetes impacts blood vessels, potentially leading to the development of new treatments. The team also discovered how blood vessels in people with the condition become damaged, increasing the risk of heart attacks and strokes.
Mostly cloudy for a time today with a little rain, drizzle and some mist in places. However, good spells of sunshine will develop in the afternoon. Some scattered showers also for the afternoon and evening. Some of those showers could be heavy. Highs of 16 to 20 degrees Celsius in light to moderate southwest to west breezes. Fresher in western coastal parts. And that's Highland Radio News. We're back with headlines again at 11 o'clock. Check all of today's news on our website, highlandradio.com. But for now, from the news team, have a very good morning.
The obituary notice says for this Thursday morning, July the 25th. The death has taken place of Patrick P.J. McCluskey, late of 80, Ballyhanadon Road, Cool, Cloddy, County Derry. Wake will commence at his late home this evening at 5 o'clock. Funeral on Saturday, leaving his late home at 12:15 for 1 o'clock requiem mass in St Patrick's Church, Cloddy. Interment immediately afterwards in the adjoining cemetery. The requiem mass can be viewed live on mcnmedia.tv. Family flowers only, donations if wished in lieu to WHSCT Haematology Fund, Kev McLaughlin, Funeral Directors, Dungiven. The death has occurred of Cahill McGlynn, butcher Thompson Duff Clohan. Cahill's remains are reposing at his home. Funeral from his home tomorrow afternoon for 2 o'clock mass in the Church of Perpetual Succor Glenfin with burial in Kilty Vogue Cemetery. Rosary tonight at 8 o'clock. Family time from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. The requiem mass can be viewed on mcnmedia.tv. House is strictly private to the family on the morning of the funeral. Family flowers only, donations in lieu to the Donegal Hospice, Kev Marley Funeral Directors or any family member. And the death has taken place of Peter Hurl, Tulnaree, Carndonagh, remains reposing at his late residence. Funeral from there tomorrow morning at 10:20 to the Sacred Heart Church, Carndonagh, for 11 o'clock requiem mass, followed by interment in the adjoining cemetery. Requiem mass can be viewed live on Carndonagh Parish, Derry Diocese, Ireland. Family flowers only please, donations in lieu if desired to the dialysis unit, Letterkenny, care of any family member or Kelly's Funeral Directors. Family time please from 11 o'clock to 10 o'clock. For family information and more details regarding wakes and funerals, please go to highlandradio.com.
Stomach discomfort, burning chest, burning throat, acid reflux, bad breath, sour taste and stomach burning. However these 7 symptoms of heartburn and indigestion feel like for you, Gaviscon Extra acts by forming a raft in your stomach to neutralise stomach acid fast for longer lasting relief. For 7 symptoms, think Gaviscon. Gaviscon Extra Oral Suspension and Gaviscon Extra Chewable Tablets for reflux, heartburn and indigestion. Always read the label.
Okay, you're very welcome back to the 9 till noon show. We're into the second hour of a special show today. It is the 9 till noon show live from Cancer Care West in Letterkenny. It's part of Your Voice, Your Community. It's in association with Commissioner Mann, and we've had a fantastic welcome here. I have to say, the coffee, the sandwiches, and I haven't even gone near the buns yet, resplendent. And I've never seen a room in all of my life with so many incredibly comfy chairs. This is quite literally the most comfortable chair I've ever done a programme from. Right, okay, keep your calls and comments coming into us, of course, 086 60 25,000. Particularly interested if you wish to share your stories of using the services here, or maybe a loved one did. If you want to share that, please feel free to do so. Chloe Friel in Ballybuffet, happy birthday to you from all your co-workers. I think you might be downstairs from us here, Chloe. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I've been asked to remind Tiernan to make sure he delivers lots of surprise presents. So Tiernan, if you got her a €10 voucher, you need to go out and sort that, because Chloe and the team there are expecting something slightly more significant. A caller wants to question put to Cancer Care West, who provides the transport for the patients. We'll get an answer for that in a moment. A caller says she's having a lot. Okay, let me see. Those are separate ones. I'll come back to them. A caller is a current user of Cancer Care West and would like to say a sincere thanks to this wonderful charity. Such a beautiful environment. Staff are so kind and helpful. In particular, the absolute gentleman, Dr. John O'Donoghue, through his therapy sessions, he's learned to control her life and not let the cancer win. Please support this valuable charity and never ever take it for granted. We are blessed in Donegal to have access to such a large amount of services under one roof. That's from Jackie. I'd like to thank John and everyone at Cancer Care Northwest for helping me on my journey with cancer. I was diagnosed with ocular melanoma 6 years ago, and talking to John in Cancer Care Northwest really helped. I'd highly recommend anyone to drop in for a chat and a cup of tea or coffee. Morning, Greg. Just want to say John and his team at Cancer Care West are amazing in what they do. They've helped me on my own journey more than I can ever say. I want to thank John and the team. That comes in from Jane Deeney in Rathmullen. Message for the staff from a caller, Rita Marin, who used to work there, used to run events in the evening for service users in her own time, and a big thanks to her. The help it gave to her family in 2018 was unbelievable and so beneficial. And one last birthday request. Happy birthday to John McGuinness, working in Meanmore, from Mum and Dad, sisters Mary and Catherine, and brother Declan, and nephews Owen and Joel, and nieces Anna and Jessica. Okay, it is the 9 till noon show. I know some of you out there are waiting for the bingo numbers, so we'll take those, and then we'll be joined by two very special guests, one a more familiar voice to this programme than the other, but both excellent nonetheless, and we'll chat to them after these.
It's time for Vision Ireland Bingo on Highland Radio.
It's Thursday, July 25th, Jackpot Day. Playing for the jackpot prize of €13,000 on the pink sheet. Reference number is S9. It's week 30. The jackpot number is 33. This number can come out in any position from the next 10 numbers drawn. Today's numbers are 8, 84, 22, 72, 67, 10, 1, 46, 14, and 39. Phone your claim to 910-4833 before 8 tonight, leaving your name, contact number, the name of the shop where you purchased your book, and we'll call you back the next working day. Get all your Vision Ireland Bingo information at highlandradio.com.
It's time to transform your smile with the help of Blue Poppy Dental, Letterkenny and Donegal Town. Their expert team offer orthodontics, teeth whitening, implants and composite bonding, all in-house. Start your journey by calling 07497 40404 or easily book your appointment online at a time that suits you through their user-friendly patient portal at bluepoppydental.com. Blue Poppy Dental and Orthodontics, Letterkenny and Donegal Town. Proud supporter of the Donegal LGFA football camps.
If you're heading off on holidays, why not treat yourself to a pair of designer sunglasses? At Louis Walsh Opticians, you'll find a full range of top-name sunglasses at great prices, so you'll look your best while your eyes are properly protected. For a sight test with an OCD 3D scan, contact lenses, or a driver's sight report, Louis Walsh Opticians, Letterkenny's longest established and family-run opticians, are located in the Courtyard Shopping Centre. Call 91 21000.
29,000 jobs and €3 billion on the line. For more in your Irish Farmers Journal, it's Paul Mooney.
Our exclusive KPMG report lays bare the cost of mounting red tape on farming in the rural economy. News 70% slurry storage grant to finally open. Find out when you will get your acre scorecard. Tensions run high as straw scheme row rumbles on. Teagasc confirms drop in farm incomes. Fresh questions over targets for rewetting land. And retailers refuse to cooperate with agri-food regulator.
All inside this week's Irish Farmers Journal.
Okay, we are back, are we? My word, sorry, I got a bit mixed up there. Right, it is the 9 till noon show. Sorry if I panicked anyone back at base there, but we are back here, and we are in the company of Elaine McDermott, lymphedema therapist. Good morning to you, Elaine. How are you getting on?
I'm good, Greg, thank you.
Very good. I'm working through the family, interviewing you all.
Yes.
Finally got to you.
Get round them all, yes.
I've had your son on the show before.
Yes, you've had Anna on.
Very good, okay, lovely stuff. And also we have our own Fionnuala Rabbit, CEO of Highland Radio, and a recent diagnosis with breast cancer. We'll talk about that in a moment.
Yeah.
Elaine, I want to talk about the work that you do, and I want to talk a little bit about lymphedema.
Yes.
So what is it, and when is it likely to occur?
Okay. So lymphedema is basically a malfunction of the lymphatic system. It can occur after a surgery, when lymph nodes have been removed, or after chemotherapy or after radiotherapy. And it can cause like a swelling, or it can cause a numbness and tingling, heaviness of the limb. And yeah, so it doesn't happen in all cases. It's only about 15% of the people.
Okay.
But it's key that if anybody does suspect anything, or if they have had lymph nodes removed, that they're educated on lymphedema.
And it's more discomfort than pain. Well,
yes,
that could be easy for me to say, but I just want...
Yeah, well, it can be both.
Right.
More often than not, it's a discomfort and an inconvenience, just with the heaviness of the limb, and, not having the same ability to use it, the same way as you did before. But it doesn't always just occur in arms and legs. It can occur in the breast, or it can occur in the abdomen or the back. It can occur really any part of the body. And particularly, it can also happen with head cancer, head and neck cancer. People can get swelling of the face, and it's a lot of discomfort of that around the neck, and the tissues become hard.
Yeah. Now, is it always going to be obvious, or are there? I mean, obviously, you say you would hope that everyone has been told who may be likely to get it what the symptoms are. But is it always like a lot of swelling that is obvious, or could someone notice maybe jewellery's become a little bit tighter? Or
yes, that's right. Yeah, absolutely. It's more often than not. By the time they come to me, more often than not, it's only at early stages. Swelling may not be obvious. But they may notice that maybe one sleeve is tighter than the other, and their watches maybe need to loosen a button, maybe need to loosen the belt of the trousers, the rings maybe maybe get tighter and things like that. Or it could be the shoes and the socks, or the legs and the trousers are getting tighter and that. They begin to feel like a heaviness of the limb. And maybe like a dull ache, and maybe some numbness and tingling.
And the lymphatic system is very important, so this is something that shouldn't be neglected, I presume.
Absolutely. The lymphatic system is your body's biological filter station, so it cleans and mops up everything the body doesn't need or want. I suppose it eats up dead cells, protein, water, bacteria, hormones, viruses, everything that the body is finished with. And what's left then it puts back into the body as a cleansed product, and the body uses it again, and it filters it out through the urinary system.
So when we talk of manual lymphatic drainage, is that the same really when we talk about massaging?
It
or
is,
the two separate things?
Yeah, probably be more commonly known as massage, but I like to call it a skin technique, because it's very specific.
It's doing something.
Yes, it's doing something. It's
yeah.
clinical.
Yeah.
It's like a skin stretching, and when you stretch the skin in one direction, there's little superficial lymph nodes, lymph vessels that go into the skin. When you stretch it, the fluid goes into the lymph vessel, and you stretch the skin in the other direction, it pushes it on.
Yeah.
So you're stretching and pushing it on, and you're just pushing the fluid further into the lymphatic system to be filtered.
And you are doing then the work that was done previously through that process? In other words, the lymphatic system is working as it might with the manual intervention?
Well, it actually speeds up the work of the lymphatic system.
Okay.
It can speed it up quite immensely.
Right.
And the person, if they have fibrosis or anything on the limb, it can soften the tissues and give the patient a lot of relief, and it can actually reduce the swelling.
And if your lymphatic system is not working correctly. 15%, you said, of cancer
Around
patients.
about that, yeah.
Male and female?
Male and female. We don't see as many males, but probably, if they've probably more often in cases of maybe of prostate cancer, where maybe they've had the prostate radiated, where it could end up the lymph nodes in the pelvis are radiated, so then they get swelling of the legs and the arms and possibly head and neck.
But it doesn't repair itself as such.
No,
this
it doesn't
becomes then
repair
an
itself. No.
So do people learn the techniques at home, or would they always need see someone like you, and how frequently?
It would be paramount that when someone come to me for a treatment, I would treat them what's called self-lymphatic drainage.
Yep.
So what we do is we redirect the fluid away from the area that the swelling is, and send the fluid to another cluster of lymph nodes that can take it away. And but
once you've educated someone in that regard, is it something they can do themselves, or?
It is something they can do themselves, yes.
And do many do, or do they tend to?
Well, people who do it find that that it really does help. So if they do that combined with exercises, exercise is important. Exercise is the movement of the muscle is the pump for the fluid, and when you're exercising and moving the muscles, you're pushing the fluid on. So the exercise enhances the treatment of the manual lymphatic drainage.
Yeah, and also if your lymphatic system isn't working as it should, how can it affect the skin, and what do people have to be careful of in terms of skin care?
Yeah, their skin care is really important. I was going to say, particularly this time of year, with the sun in Ireland, we don't need to worry too much, but you need to be wearing a high factor. The integrity of the skin isn't what it used to be, so you need to moisturise it. And if you get a bite, a cut, or a sting, or damage the skin in any way whatsoever, you need to apply an antiseptic. To the area to prevent an infection or to prevent a cellulitis from occurring.
So this 15-ish% of people. Are any of them listening to us that weren't given this advice and need to check for those symptoms, or would you be confident that Fionnuala's got her hand up? Well, I'll come back to you in a moment, because our own Fionnuala Rabbit, CEO of Highland Radio, initially you kind of says, well, I'm taking a bit of time off, and you weren't, I don't know how to describe, because it's your words, but your personality is, you're a grinder, you put your head down, you batter on with things, right? And I mean that in the nicest possible way. I actually genuinely do.
Yeah, denial is my favourite place
but
to
also too,
live.
In terms of that, maybe I've seen a little bit of change in you, that you're maybe a little bit more open about this part of your life. I don't know. I don't want to misread it.
Well, I think it's just, for me, and I don't even like to use the word journey, because to be honest, I've been so lucky, and it really was amazing the way that it works. Even I was talking to the surgeon, and she was like, you're the kind of poster of it. This is why we have breast check. And basically what it was is that I turned 50 during COVID, so obviously I would have been called and put on the breast check list. I've always been very conscious of my breast care, because as many women out there, and Greg's going to get a lot of information about my boob now, but as many women out there know, some of us have very lumpy breasts, and when they say to you, oh, you should check your breasts, I would always be trying to do that, but to be honest, they feel like as if there's a bag of marbles in there. Yes. So I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking for. Yeah. I don't get it. So I've always been very conscious of it. I remember when I turned 40, as a present to myself, I went and I was very fortunate that I lived in Galway, and there was the opportunity to go privately for a mammogram, and I went and had one and went, oh, that's great. Now I don't have to worry about that now until I'm 50. So then when I turned 50, I got onto the breast check. And but it takes a couple of years just because of COVID, but they're actually getting very close now to being caught up again. But it took them a little while, naturally, to catch back up on the waiting list. And I was called last August. Now, as I said, I'm very conscious of my breast care, and I had lost a little bit of weight for my daughter's wedding. Again, everybody knows about that. I talk about it all the time at the time. And I thought that I'd found a lump, and I went and I had it checked out, and I had a fantastic experience here in Letterkenny, and it was all done and dusted in 2 weeks, and they told me, oh, it was only fatty tissue, but I did have a mammogram at the time. So then when I was called for the breast check, I was like, oh, sure, I won't bother going now. I've had it done, and I don't know what it was that made me think, oh, you might get knocked off the list. You know yourself, if you don't engage, you might get knocked off. So I said, grand, so, and I went down and had it here in the van, down beside the council offices there. Had it in the van, and that was in August of last year. And in September then I got a call to come down to the symptomatic breast care unit in Galway, and I was driving all the way down thinking, oh my God, now this is that fatty tissue that they said, and sure enough went in there, something came up. I was again, oh sure, I've loads of fatty tissue, that's all it is. And as soon as they did the second mammogram, they were like, yeah, no, we're going to do a biopsy, and they were confident that it was breast cancer. But I was very lucky, as I said. They found it very early. I did lose some lymph nodes, but not too many, seriously. And to be honest, I kind of thought, oh, I'm done now. Had the little operation and came out, and that once that's over and done with, I'll be back to work in October, November, and that'll be it. That'll be me all done. Not being anyway realistic about it, but then, so I was off because I had to have a bit of radiotherapy and that kind of thing as well. But the whole thing was amazing to me. And I was done and dusted, and I was like, oh, I'll start the new year now. Pretend it never happened. This is the denial that Fionnuala lives in. And to be honest, that's when things started to happen that I wasn't really expecting. Because I kind of thought once the radiotherapy was over, I'd be done. And I'm sure I'm not the only person that goes into it with that kind of a feeling. Sure, I'll be all over then. But at that point then, things started sort of, in my kind of falling apart a bit. Because you don't really know what to expect. You know, until you've engaged, until it's happened to you. You don't know how it's going to feel. Everybody obviously experiences pain. Everybody has symptoms differently. I turned out to be one in the 15 that ended up. I have seroma on my breast now. So as I keep saying, they took out a thing the size of a €2 and they put in a thing the size of a baby's fists because it's just this weird seroma that's slowly healing away. But it just takes its time and it just makes the breast awkward. As Elaine was saying, when I started getting the lymphadema, I didn't understand what it was. It was just, you know, it felt like when we were kids and somebody would punch you on the shoulder and give you like that sort of a dead arm feeling, and you just felt like...
How long did you have that sensation or that feeling before you were told what it was?
Oh, a long time. Because I put a lot of it off to, oh, that's just the operation. And, you know, obviously after an operation and you kind of feel a bit funny with it. So, I mean, it really was kind of straight away. But the first 6-8 weeks, it was the operation. Then I was like, oh, sure, maybe it was the radiotherapy. You know, that you're in an awkward position for the radiotherapy and that kind of thing. And I'm like, oh, maybe it was the maybe it was this. And then I was very lucky because I had, again, I know about lymphedema and I wasn't speaking to somebody up here about it a long time ago, but I also have an experience of Cancer Care West again through when I lived in Galway and I worked in the radio station in Galway. It was around the time that they were fundraising for the fantastic Inisheven facility. And I don't think enough people in Donegal realise how amazing that facility is, and particularly for people, I think, up in this part of the world that have to travel. You know, I suppose in some ways, thankfully, they don't until they or a family member experiences, you know, going through a cancer situation. But it's just, and it's an amazing facility. It's only pity it's not 5 times bigger because you could fill it. There's sadly so many people have need of it. You know, it's a wonderful place to come and stay. So I was aware of the Cancer Care West. I was directed then to the lovely Elaine, and to be honest, she had blown my mind with information that I didn't know.
In a good way, Elaine.
Yes, no, but I mean, so much so that, you know, again, about the lymphatic system, it's not really something that I even recall doing in biology back in the, you know, dark ages. It's not something that I really knew a lot about, and I'm the type of person that I need information.
Yeah.
I can't, you know, I need to be asking the questions. I want, you know, like I want to see it. I want to be awake for the operation. I want to see the pictures. So Elaine has been great and very patient and explained to me. And she has an awesome machine.
Okay.
Feels
Tell
awesome.
you that in a minute.
Yeah, I have to go back to the machine.
In terms of coming here, is it just to see Elaine that you've called in here?
Well, to be honest, initially that's exactly what it was, because I was just coming in for the one thing. But every time you come in, you know, you sit down and you have a cup of tea while you're waiting for your thing, then John comes out, suddenly you find yourself spilling your guts to John. I'm like, oh my God, John,
Because
hire him privately.
Everyone's situation is different. I mean, obviously you've got your radio family up here, and we all care very deeply for you. But you're from a big family, and they're based in Galway, and your daughter and your grandchild and all that down there. So when you are up here too, it could be easy to feel a little bit isolated at times. So whether you come in here to purposely speak to John or accidentally, I don't know what the scenario
I think
is.
That's part of the thing
it's
that's
really
here.
useful for you, I think, and
Yeah,
loads of other people.
I totally agree with you. It can be when you don't have a lot, and as I said, I come from a very close, large family, so it is a bit strange sometimes when I'm here on my own. But the other thing about it is and again, when I got the cancer diagnosis, I was kind of, oh God, sure, it's only a little bit. It's not even like real. It's like
That's quite
barely.
literally what she said, by the way.
I was like, I wouldn't even talk about it like other people have proper cancer. And I think everybody reacts differently to it. And I'm actually, for myself, amazed at the emotional repercussions of it.
Yeah.
In that, even though, one of the nurses said to me one time when I was, oh, sure, it's fine, I can just pretend now it didn't happen. And she was like, no, this is going to hit you now that it did happen. And it does actually hit you in different ways.
And in a way, still though, you're still, and thankfully, you've described it as, you've been a textbook, but you're almost apologetic in talking about it.
Oh God, I know.
Compared to what other people are going through,
some
which is
people
kind
have
of
such
interesting.
terrible journeys to go through. In mine, I was so lucky. I mean, you just have to keep it in your head that you're so lucky. But it does definitely impact you in ways that you're not, more than the physical. And I think that's where somewhere like Cancer Care West can be amazing, because one, they're helping you with the physical, but they're also like, I didn't realize that what I was feeling was not what everybody else, was possibly something that was wrong. I never even knew that I should be careful about getting sunburned. I love to go for a deep tissue massage.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm not supposed to have deep tissue massage anymore. I even things like giving blood pressure, nothing can be done now on the right hand side. I mean, I had my operation in October. I finished the radiotherapy just the day before Christmas, or 2 days before Christmas. I still have a lot of weight in the arm, as in it feels weighty. I still find, a stretch and a pull in it, that it's not, that the mobility is not 100%. Whereas I never really thought about that kind of thing. I just assumed, I didn't realize and I'm not a good sunscreen person anyways, but I didn't realize about the sunscreen, and it's unbelievable how quickly, if I'm not careful and I'm out with the little short sleeve and so there's loads of information that I think is here, and here you're getting it in a very conversational,
but also too,
it's from people with experience,
and everyone's going through this with everything else going in life as well. I mean, you've had the best and the worst news in a couple of years.
I know.
Do you know
my
that sort of
grandbaby?
Yeah, exactly. And like, it's how do we process that as humans? Like, I'm going through this and I feel like crap, but I'm so happy because I've got that, and that's why I think the talking side of it's important. Elaine, is there anything else you want to add just before we move on now?
No,
machine.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to buy one, just so everybody should try it.
We have this
fascinated by this machine.
I know, it's fabulous.
We have this wonderful piece of equipment called a deep oscillator. And when someone has lymphedema, sometimes their limb can be very heavy, and it can be extremely swollen, and the tissues are fibrotic, so they're really hard and feel like rubbery or whatever. So, and particularly maybe if there's lymphedema of the breast, the skin massage may not penetrate deep enough into the breast or deep enough into the fibrotic tissue. So what this machine does, it penetrates 8 centimetres into the tissues, and it breaks down the fibrosis and softens the tissues, and it makes it a lot more pliable, and the person just feels so much better for it.
And I'm conscious that...
It's like a tingly vibrating across your skin.
Steady yourself.
Awesome.
And I'm conscious that we're speaking here from Letterkenny, right? And a lot of these services are available, and people come in from all over, don't get me wrong, but not everyone can. How broadly available across the whole region is, as far as we're aware, is lymphatic massage, stroke lymphatic drainage. I'm thinking
Available.
So I'm thinking if someone's listening in Inishowen, are they going, oh, that's all right for you in Letterkenny, or if they're in Donegal Town, or
well, to my knowledge, I think there is a service within the HSE, but outside of that, there's myself and Sinead Boyce. She's actually our massage therapist here, and I was very fortunate to use her services myself here as well. She's also a lymphadema therapist, and other than that, I actually don't know. You have to be really careful of who you get to do your manual lymphatic drainage.
It's a specialist
treatment,
okay.
Because you could send the fluid the wrong direction and cause the swelling to get worse.
Okay, well, you have to be really careful about that. Fanula, anything you want to add finally?
I think just even what you're saying there, you know, in my experience, there isn't enough up here in Donegal. You know, I'm assuming the HSE are doing their best, but the extra extended are all done through places like Cancer Care West. And like Elaine, I'd say, could be doing this night, noon, and morning.
That's what I was thinking.
There's enough people here to be at her the whole time, and Sinead is doing as well. I've met Sinead; she's fantastic as well. But I think it's just more reason why people should support services like Cancer Care West. I mean, I know from my conversations here, they'd love to be able to expand what they can do, to be able to go out and about and to do clinics and do different things. But it's all about the resources, and it's all about being there. So I think this twofold really why I wanted to make sure that we did today was, one, to make sure that anybody that's going through the journey, regardless of how, as I would say, good or bad it is, given my situation being so good, reach out to them. You will find something that you can do, and even it's just lovely that there's people here that you can talk to and literally sit around and have a cup of tea or coffee, and they've lots of social events and stuff like that they do just for people to chat and be able to say how they feel. But the other side of it is that people need to support them in as much as possible, because the resources that they bring are amazing, but it's sadly there's not enough of it for the amount of people that would require
and
it.
I mean, in an ideal situation, we'd have satellite services and stuff. All right, Fanula, thank you so very much indeed. Okay. Thank you very much, Elaine McDermott, who's a lymphadema therapist, and our own Fanula Rabbit, CEO of Highland Radio. 086 60 25,000 is the WhatsApp and text number, 086 60 25,000, or give us a call on 07491 25,000. We're broadcasting live from a buzzing, and I have to say it's a beautiful atmosphere here today. A buzzing Cancer Care West in Letterkenny. We're going to be chatting to Noel Cunningham. He is in the building. He's going to be chatting to us a little bit later on. We're going to have some live music for you as well, and other guests to introduce on the show. All right, but it is time. I thought it was a minute to 11. I nearly worried myself. It's 23 minutes to 11. We'll be back with more after this break. Stay right where you are, everybody.
Tesco Club Card gives you the power to more. Grill out with 3 for €10 from our Fire Pit range. Spice up your dinner with Old El Paso kits and Selecta Coke 4 packs, any 2 for €6. And Bella Cucina Prosecco Frizzante was €12, now just €7. Get more from your shop with your Tesco Club Card or app. Shop in-store or online. Tesco. Every little helps. Subject to availability. Prices vary in express stores. Deposit may apply. See tesco.ie. Enjoy alcohol responsibly.
Expecting a baby? Then a visit to Cool Kids Sligo's summer sale is a must. With up to 50% off selected prams, pushchairs, car seats, nursery furniture and high chairs. Cool Kids Sligo, your premier destination for baby equipment in the Northwest. We will take a deposit and deliver free nationwide. Shop online at babyaccessories.ie.
For day-to-day healthcare needs, generations have trusted the experienced staff at McGee's Chemist Letterkenny. From coughs and colds to aches and pains, from vitamin supplements to first aid essentials. McGee's have what you need when you need it, with a full prescription service available daily. McGee's Chemist, Main Street, Letterkenny. For healthcare help and advice you can always trust.
New store Call of the Wild is now open on Main Street, Letterkenny, with top quality outdoor clothing, footwear and equipment. Also the best advice and great service. Top names include Bearcows, Yeti, Gore-Tex and Orca. Also Rip Curl, Camping Gaz, Hoka and many more. Get the best gear, whatever your lifestyle, at Call of the Wild in Letterkenny. See callofthewild.ie.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, easy living has it all.
Easy Living Furniture's sizzling summer sale ends this Sunday. Don't miss out as absolutely everything's reduced across sofa, dining, bedroom, mattress and accessories. Summer sale ends Sunday at Easy Living Furniture, Crescent Link Retail Park, Derry, Londonderry, or online at easylivingfurniture.co.uk.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, Easy Living has it all. Easy Living Furniture. Luxury furnishings, affordable luxury.
Virgin Media is rolling out 2 gig full fibre broadband to more and more homes across Ireland. Big homes, little homes, haunted houses, big gaffs in the country, non-bouncy castles. Number 16, Oxbow Lake Houses. The house with all the cats. To get Ireland's best broadband, check your address at virginmedia.ie. Virgin Media, it's playtime.
T's and C's apply. See virginmedia.ie. Subject to availability. Ireland's best broadband. See virginmedia.ie/proof.
The summer sale is now on at Watson Menswear in Letterkenny, with a big range of 2- and 3-piece suits reduced to half price. Also, a selection of blazers and dress shirts, half price. There's 20% off formal footwear and loads of great bargains in casual clothing and footwear in the summer sale now on at Watson Menswear. Open 7 days a week on Main Street, Letterkenny, and at watsonmenswear.com.
Eurodreams is the new game from the National Lottery, where you could win €20,000 a month for the next 30 years. That's €20,000 every month for 30 years. Draws take place every Monday and Thursday, so pick up a Eurodreams ticket for your chance to win.
Play responsibly, in-store, in-app or at lottery.ie. The National Lottery. It could be you.
We have amazing mega value offers this week at your local Centra. Like Centra Feshars chicken fillets 680 gram, only $7.50. Goodfellas deep pan selected pizzas €2 each. And Birra Moretti 12 bottle pack, only €16. Whatever the weather, Centra has you covered. Centra. Live every day. Enjoy alcohol sensibly.
Welcome to Cherrymore Kitchens and Bedrooms in Donegal Town. Discover affordable luxury with our bespoke fitted furniture solutions. With almost 30 years of serving Ireland and the Northwest, we're your trusted experts. Visit us Monday to Thursday 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. with late night openings Fridays until 7. Book your free consultation today on 074 9725 822 or visit cherrymore.ie. Cherrymore Kitchens and Bedrooms, where affordability and luxury combine.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenny's. Support local at McElhenny's. With 53 years experience in fashion, beauty and home, we're here for you. Plus, enjoy M-Card rewards when you shop in-store at McElhenny's Ballybuffet.
Mostly clouded for a time today with a little rain, drizzle and some mist in places. However, some good spells of sunshine will develop through the afternoon, and there's a beautiful spell of sunshine that's just sat in front of me in the shape of Noel Cunningham. Could we have a round of applause? Can everyone hear me okay? Yes? Can we have a round of applause, please, for Noel Cunningham? Yes? Yes, there you are. Another packed audience for the 9 till noon show. We had one in Annagry. We have one in Letterkenny. It's huge, Noel. It's huge. Come here. Good morning to you. How are you keeping?
A very good morning to you. I am extremely well, and I can honestly say today I find kind of emotional. I find...
Talk to me about that. Why?
Well, many years ago, I went on the invitation of Richard Flaherty, the CEO of Cancer Care West. I went to Galway to visit Inisheveen. Inisheveen is this beautiful guest house that welcomes people to stay over when they're going through treatment in Galway. And I walked in there all gung-ho thinking, really, just visit and go. I was absolutely touched and amazed that every single person there were actually from Donegal. That particular day, every resident came from our county, in Galway. And leading on from that, what absolutely touched me even more was the fact that we could walk round the corner and there was this amazing centre where people could go. People on a journey, they could go for the various services that we're talking about here today. And now for me to walk in here in Letterkenny, having been here from the outset when the first renovations began, and to hear the cacophony of positivity and the beautiful stories from people on a journey. And the other part of the sadness, as I drove over, I remembered a great girl called, she was a girl called Mrs. Friel. She was a very significant person who used these services, and she and I were with you on Highland Radio some years ago, and her second anniversary, Breda Friel, is happening around now. So all of those combined with the positivity here and the emotion in this room and the happiness and the beauty, it's just a little bit overwhelming.
Yes, I can imagine that. And can I be honest with you for a moment as well? I'm always honest with you, of course. But we've spoken quite a bit about the Donegal Camino and the fundraising efforts and all that type of stuff. It's only really today I've made the connection. Does that make sense? Between
Yes.
what you're doing and what it achieves and what it helps to support.
Yeah.
Because I do a lot of interviews about this stuff, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
About people doing a fundraiser or whatever it might be. But I really see the connection now between people entering the Camino, and it's coming up, by the way, and Noel will tell you about it on Saturday the 7th of September, but also then how it feeds into the services that are provided here.
Yeah, that's why for me the Camino is a particularly, how would I call it, an emotional journey. It's a Camino really with people on a cancer journey. And last year we gave over 80,000 to this centre.
Wow.
This year my target is 100,000. When I say mine, our little committee started off by Peggy Stringer, who did it the first year herself for this centre at my request. She is just incredible. And since then we've been joined by another group of merry warriors, Deirdre McGlone and Noreen Darcy and Michael Cullinan and John. Just a lovely committee. And that's why I make no apology. I was talking to some people here today who will do a day or 2 days. You can dip in and dip out. And I hope that people listening today will, like you, realize the significance of the Camino, why we do it. And I would love if they went on the Camino page and the I Donate page, because everybody like myself who give up their time do it with a good heart. And the only thing we need money for is guides, transport, different things that are both legally required and essential for doing a week's walking.
But also, this place is like holds a mirror up to, the population. There's different people of different ages, different backgrounds, different careers. You know what I mean? But everyone's equal in here.
Yes.
In their support. It's really quite remarkable in that.
Well, Greg, you and I have spoken a lot about my own journey with alcoholism. And I found my tribe in the AA rooms. Now I found a new tribe because the cancer family, if I may refer to it as that, those on that cancer journey, they're a very unique group. And to come in here today and talk to people, and find out how they're getting on and to remember people who are no longer with us, it makes you very aware that cancer doesn't differentiate. We have the old, the middle-aged, the young. You have all walks of life, and many of them represented here today in this incredible cancer centre in Letterkenny.
And great to speak to fellas that come in here as well. Because sometimes we are reluctant to seek help or to reach out. It's not gender exclusive, don't get me wrong, but I think, as well to get into the ears of fellas who maybe, and just like our guest earlier on, living on their own, you know what I mean, and how that can exacerbate and make things more difficult. It is an incredibly warm, welcoming, homely space.
And you highlight something very important. Men are slow to discuss matters of an emotional nature, whatever that might be, health, relationships, anything in that field. In Donegal, we have a problem with isolation anyway. We've people who live alone in sort of far-flung corners of our very big county. So can you imagine being isolated and having had a cancer diagnosis? And there are people here today who've said the discovery of this centre was their life savior. And it is so apparent here today with that positivity and joy.
Yeah. And if you're whether you're a man or a woman, if you're listening to us in, I don't know, it could be Carragard, it could be Bridgend or Glenties, hop on the bus, get the morning bus, come in here for a couple of hours and get the bus home.
Absolutely.
Just suck it and see. Do you know what I mean?
And you know what people forget, and I say to all of your listeners, those especially who may be on a journey or who have a family member just diagnosed. You know, one lady here today told me when she got her diagnosis, that month or 6 weeks that she was waiting for her program of treatment to begin, she would almost not have survived had she not discovered this centre.
And it's cancer is it's a bloody thing, isn't it? And 1 in 2 of us will get it. I think all of us will be affected by it. And when it comes into your house or affects someone that's close to you, or you could be the person, it's like something sweeps through your life or the house. It's
Absolutely.
unbelievable. And, you know, is everything going to be okay? What happens next? What happens then? What happened? And all this kind of stuff. And then, of course, too, there's a great deal of anxiety for people who've had cancer, with the fear of it coming back. It is a thing.
Yeah.
And often I think people who finish their treatment can come here and discuss that, because you might not want to discuss that at home. You know, so there's a million reasons, but the one commonality through it all is the talk of is that when you or someone close to you gets that diagnosis, it's I can't put into words what happens in the house.
And that's why today, Greg, I issue an invitation to people who may not have even heard of this great centre, and that be they on a journey or family or friends of, come and visit, come and see the great work that's being done, come and support the great work that's being done. And as a patron, you see, I tend to spend a lot of my time sort of looking for donations, because for me it is so important that this centre thrives and continues to grow and continues to sprinkle a little bit of magic on the lives of those who are, as you say, the horror of that diagnosis. And I say horror because none of us know deep down what it is really like unless we've been there. But I know from the years I've been in and out of this centre and talking to people how awful that day is when they are told, and why the work being done here at the Cancer Centre here in Letterkenny, that's managed by Cancer Care West, is a most extraordinary and vital service.
Thanks, Noel. Stay where you are. And I'm also conscious that people who are dealing things in their own way or what have you, you know, might be affected by this sort of topic as well, and it might evoke negative memories and feelings and what have you as well. Again, this is what this centre is for. You talked about sprinkling a little bit of something or other, Noel. Forever, what matters most? We're going to talk to our next guest in relation to that. I don't even have your name in front of me. Where is it gone? Is it here? Yes. Kira Gilgan, is it?
Gilgon.
Gilgon. Okay, lovely, Kira. We Care packages. Talk to me about that. I have one of them here. Do I?
Yeah, so we run these campaigns every now and again. It's a Forever Living product. So it's for people that are going through any kind of care in any care facilities. They're going through any cancer treatments, recovery. We've got our lovely aloe deodorant in there. Lovely socks as well, because I know...
You cannot beat a comfy, fluffy pair of socks.
Absolutely. And do you know what? I've had so many people come back to me and go, oh my God, them socks are brilliant, because I know when people are going through treatment, they can get cold feet. And, you know, it's just a little extra, you know, to put in the pack.
And we talked earlier on about the skin care and the importance of looking at your skin, particularly if your lymph nodes have been affected. That's well covered here too.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, and there are lots of products there as well that, you know, can help with all those different, you know, outcomes from care treatments. So that aloe avocado soap there, it's got a lovely citrus scent off it. So all these products are all natural. They're all aloe vera based. The deodorant there is just a pure stick of aloe. It's really soothing. There's no aluminium salts in it. no chemicals, and it's really, really lovely smell. And the aloe lip balm, which is the best lip balm that you could ever get your hands on.
Do you have to give this to anyone? No, can I use the lip balm?
You can use it, of course, yeah.
If you have to
Once
pay
you start using the aloe lips, you will never go back to another lip balm. It's
Caroline
pure
will
aloe.
pay you if there is a cost.
So it's great
So
for anybody.
How do you distribute these, or what's the story there?
So literally, we ask for donations from customers, clients, friends, family, and what we do is we put the packs together. We deliver them to care facilities like this. We send them. I have given them up to the hospital in Letterkenny, the cancer unit, and all the different hospitals and care facilities all over the country.
Brilliant. And if anyone wants any more information about We Care packages or anything of the work that you do?
Yeah, so you can contact me. I'm on Facebook. You can get me at Ciara Gilgun. You can get me on Instagram at Ciara Gilgun, and you can also contact me on 087 226 8430.
And I can endorse the lip balm. It is actually some of the nicest lip
Absolutely,
balm
yeah.
I've ever
It's
used.
really, really good for anybody with any dry, chapped lips. I know people
Do I
going
look
through
kissable?
treatment.
No.
Oh, I don't know what's going on here now.
The wrong person to ask, absolutely. Yeah, with or without lip balm.
How are you going to survive with Mary from Dunlow with me? That's the thing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're going to meet. And you know what, Greg? I'm so scared that you're going to silence me before. I am so happy.
Not at all.
You're going to dance in our Strictly for
Oh,
the
yes, I
Cancer
forgot about
Centre
committing to that.
Gabrielle McMonigal and I are organising for the new year. And I'm also throwing down a gauntlet, maybe, just maybe, to get into training. You might do a day or two on the Camino.
Well, I would actually like to, as I
Yes.
was speaking there. I really would. So
Yeah.
I am going to commit to that now.
And it's the 1st to the 7th of September.
Well, I won't commit to the 1st
Yeah.
or 7th, but so let's talk about that, because I wanted to dedicate the last minute and a half to it.
Right.
So we've talked about the Donegal Camino in the past. €80,000 was raised last year to continue the fantastic work of this place. Noel and his crew, a small crew, have set a €100,000 target. They've already raised €160,000 for this amazing, amazing place. So how do people sign up? There's plenty of notice here. It's from the 1st to the 7th. Talk about the scenery, talk about how you sign up.
You know what? It's a magical week in the hills of Donegal. 6 incredible walks. Go online, Donegal Camino. It will show you the routes. It will advise where you can stay, where the main group are eating on each night. Make your own arrangements in that respect. And most importantly, encourage friends and family to sponsor you. And to all your listeners, as I said earlier, there's an I Donate button there as well. We would
On the
love...
sponsorship cards?
How
How does that work?
Absolutely.
So if I were to do it, we could ask the listeners to sponsor me to do 2 days of it.
Absolutely, and that would be so fantastic,
Okay,
Greg.
we'll do that.
And I really
I've never put my hand out before, so I will expect an awful lot of generosity now. I've never once put my hand out.
Well, listeners, are you listening? I am telling you, your generosity, you will have to call his bluff.
And do you know what? I can plug things to death as well, so if I got one big backer on, my God, I could plug
Well,
them.
as I say, we need, I like to pay our expenses before the walk starts so that every penny
can
raised by walkers and by their friends, that goes directly to this centre.
Noel, give us the website.
Donegal Camino.
Couldn't be
simple as.
simpler. Noel, it's always a pleasure. You're going to be around for the rest of the morning.
Absolutely.
Thank you so very much also to Ciara Gilgun. It's Gilgunn, by the way, if you're looking to search her out. We're going to be back with the news in just a couple of minutes, and we've got loads of people to talk to between now and 12.
Glenalla Garden Fete takes place this Saturday 27th at Franklin's Glenalla Estate from 12:30. Enjoy teas, kickstalls, bric-a-brac and much more, with proceeds in aid of Glenalla Church Fund.
Foy & Company in Ballybuffet and Letterkenny are the largest stockists of paint and wallpapers in the Northwest. Our qualified colour consultants and interior design team will help you create a beautiful space designed for your needs. We work with commercial and residential customers, have all the largest brands and can match any colour. We stock all the interior and exterior paint along with all the painting accessories you'll need to completely transform your space at Foy & Company in Letterkenny and Ballybuffet.
On Business Matters this week, I'll be speaking with Steve Bradley of Into the West about the prospects of re-establishing a rail link between Letterkenny and Derry, and also Larissa Feeney of the Donegal Women in Business Network about its big 25th anniversary event. So join me, Chris Ashmore, for Business Matters after the 6 o'clock news on Sunday.
Business Matters on Highland Radio is brought to you by Local Enterprise Office Donegal. If you have an idea to start or grow your business within Donegal, contact the Local Enterprise Office team to find out more about the supports available for businesses. See localenterprise.ie/Donegal. If you're painting outside your home or business premises, Watson Hire have a brilliant deal on Storm Shield exterior paint. Get 3 10-litre buckets of white Johnson's Storm Shield for $119.95, or 3 buckets of coloured Storm Shield for just $149.95. Johnson's Storm Shield is rainproof in 20 minutes, ideal for the Donegal weather, and Watson's can mix thousands of colours. Call in and talk to the paint specialist for advice, and see loads more paint deals in store at Watson Hire, Lisnenan, Letterkenny.
I'm through with play.
The blockbuster production of Wicked returns to the Bordgash Energy Theatre, Dublin. Winner of over 100 Golden Globes and 10 Tony Awards, ranked in the West End's top 10 longest-running musicals of all time, and a show that has been seen by 65 million people worldwide. Join Highland Radio Friday 9th of August as we take part in the magic. Call us today at 07491 25000 or book your place through the outlet at highlandradio.com.
Okay, it is 11 o'clock. You are tuned to the 9 till noon show, and it's time to get the news headlines now. And we hand back to Michaela Clark.
Thanks, Greg. Good morning. Pat the Cope Gallagher says there is a vacuum of Donegal representation in the Dáil. The former junior minister and MEP, who lost his Dáil seat in the previous general election, has confirmed that he is seeking Fianna Fáil nomination for the next election. The party's selection convention takes place in the coming weeks. The number of officers in the Garda National Immigration Bureau has fallen in the past 2 years. This is despite a record number of asylum seekers arriving in the country so far this year. There are now fewer than 100 officers in the Garda National Immigration Bureau. Loch's Willie Ornelai has praised a member of the public who raised the alarm after 2 people were cut off by high tide in the Lambs Bay area yesterday. The Malhead Coast Guard was contacted at around 9:20 last night to the pair who were stranded. Loch's Willie Ornelai were then launched and brought them safely back to shore. Concern has been expressed by the Cahirloch of the Letterkenny Milford Municipal District that skip bags are being used in lieu of bins by some homes in the area. Councillor Jerry McMonigal says while such bags have their place, they should not be left outside a property for more than 3 days. In some cases, he says they can be there for months, and that's unacceptable. Bad weather conditions have delayed a search operation for a young boy off the coast of Clare. It's understood he became separated from his family while visiting the cliffs of Moher on Tuesday. A multi-agency search has been delayed until later this afternoon. And Donegal County Council has confirmed its public consultation on new bylaws governing speed limits in the county will begin on this day week. It's proposed to reduce the limits on some roads from 80 to 60 kilometres an hour. Over the course of the following 30 days, the draft bylaws and supporting documentation will be on display at County House in Lifford, the Public Services Centres in Carndonagh, Donegal Town, Dunlow, Letterkenny and Milford, and the Base Enterprise Centre in Stranorlar. Those are the latest headlines. We'll be back with an update again at 12 noon.
Darren knows these roads. He knows every turn, every tree, every person's house. He knows when he wants to put his foot down. But here's something he doesn't know. He doesn't know that Jim is searching for his phone and has taken his eye off the road, just around the corner ahead. Darren doesn't know this. But they're both about to find out very quickly. Even if you know the road, you don't know what's coming. Say no to speeding. A message from the Road Safety Authority. Visit rsa.ie.
Okay, we are back live here from the beautiful surroundings of Cancer West in Letterkenny. It's part of Your Voice, Your Community. It's in association with Commissioner Mann, but it's something we've been wanting to do for quite some time in any case. Now, we have members of the Ergal Sextet with us now. We're going to have some live music for you, which is very exciting. But first, we're going to speak to a member of the Ergal Sextet. That is Orla Doherty. Good morning to you, Orla. And what is that you're holding?
This is a tenor saxophone.
Very good. What a beautiful instrument, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Just in terms of the aesthetics.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, I mean, you're going to be performing us very, very shortly, but we're here at we're at Cancer Care West here in Letterkenny, and like 1 in 2 of us, and maybe even more of us throughout our lives, have experience of cancer as well, Orla.
Yes, correct. And I first started attending the centre last year. I got a diagnosis in December of 22 of breast cancer, and was referred on to the various services. So I first came here early in 2023 in the early stages of my treatment, and got huge benefits from attending here.
And what is it about this place that's special for you?
Well, when I was first invited to come for counselling here or to avail of the various services, my initial thought was, I'm doing fine. I actually don't feel the need of counselling, but because I was going through chemo and couldn't go very many places, I thought, well, it'll be a morning out or an afternoon out, and I might learn something. So I felt quite not in need of it, but it might be interesting, I thought. And it was a very interesting experience, because when I turned up and I was sitting in the waiting area, and I had up until then been, I suppose, trying to be very strong, as some of your previous people have spoken about. But when I sat here, there was something about the decor, the ambience, the general atmosphere here, that I suddenly welled up with tears before I had even spoken to the counsellor in here. And that, I suppose, showed me that I actually needed.
That was like a release of sorts,
yes,
wasn't it?
It was, and it just felt like a very safe space. And that has continued to be my experience. Out in the world, you're trying to be strong, have great support, great support from family and friends.
But we can be a bit vulnerable in here.
We can, absolutely.
It's all right, that's
absolutely, and we can let it all go. And it has helped me. One of the things that I hadn't thought about when I was starting this was, there's the cancer and all of that, how that impacts on you physically, but there's also normal life going on in the background, and all of the challenges that come at us in the normal run of things. So there were days when I came here, and during my one-to-one sessions with either Maria or John, when cancer wasn't mentioned, but everything else that was going on, that was really driving me down at some of my darkest days. So it was an absolute godsend for me. It was a life raft for me through last year and until the start of this year.
Orla, lovely to speak to you. I can't wait to hear you. That's Orla Doherty there. I think we're also going to speak to Sean. So Sean, you're going to come down and have a quick chat. Orla's going to take her position. Sean McCarran is leader of the Ergal Sax Tet. Sean, how are you?
Good, yeah.
Good to have you with us. What's the crack?
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
Talk to us about the Saxtet. It's relatively new in its current formation, is it?
It is indeed, yeah. I've always wanted to have a saxophone. The family, the saxophone family, doing work that string quartets might do at weddings and parties and stuff. So I've always wanted that. So this is a good opportunity for us to start this fledgling outfit.
How many live performances have there been so far on the radio?
This is the first on the radio.
We have an exclusive.
And this is the first.
Excellent. Of all?
Yeah.
Okay. How exciting. Brilliant. Saxtet. What's a saxtet?
It actually would be called a sextet.
Right.
Six people. Quartet. Sextet.
So there's 6 of you normally?
No.
Are you playing with words here?
Exactly. It is a play with words. It's just to have the word saxophone in it.
Okay. So this is really exciting. So we're going to get the first play. Have you had experience of this place?
No, I haven't. No. But I'm
but
very.
If that's a good answer to the question, what's your impressions of it? As like you're in the same boat as I am.
Certainly very lively. Yeah. Certainly very lively.
It's very homely and
yeah. Well, I mean, there are very few of us who are untouched by.
Oh no, I get you.
Cancer, and it is. It's just great to have a place like this, for people to come to and to experience the help and the outreach,
Super stuff. Right, Sean, get up there.
Yeah,
anything else you want to add?
Yeah, we are available for work, so I'll leave a number with you.
Hang on a second now. What kind of work?
Well, wedding,
I'm
early
the
part
king of
weddings.
clubs. plugs. I'm the king of plugs, so,
Yeah,
you know.
early part weddings and parties and stuff. We are available. So
Brilliant.
I'll
Okay.
leave the number with
Well,
you.
this is it.
Thank you
now.
very much, Greg.
We are going to get the first live performance here on the radio. That is super tough. Just turn it, lift, rotate. Yeah, just want to make sure. Yes, we're right on there. Just look a little bit higher. And yeah, so this. Are you all ready, guys? Yeah. Okay. This is the first performance of the Ergal Sextet, and take it away whenever you're ready. Yay! Round of applause. Well done, well done. That was absolutely fantastic. Some of the other choices we had were Fly Me to the Moon. That would have been nice too. Look forward to that one when you're performing next. Autumn Leaves or Billy Joel for the longest time. That's just a sample of the work of the Ergal Sextet. They are newly formed but already sounding fantastic. And don't forget, if you want to book them, Sean's going to give us a number and we'll pass that on. Is that right, Sean? I'm sure you're going to be really busy. I can imagine me walking into the reception of a wedding, a glass of wine in my hand maybe, and Fly Me to the Moon in the background. Very impressive. All right, and something different as well. 086 60 25,000 to WhatsApp and text number, or you can give us a call on 074 91 25,000. Bridie says, I'd be lost without this service. They help me deal with everything I'm going through my journey for the second time. Patricia works so hard in the background, making sure we all have appointments that are needed. Elaine, John, and all the gang keep me as positive as I can be. And that's just a further sample of the positive impact this place is having on people's lives. Well done, Elaine. Cancer Care West, a fabulous lady and therapist and support. Great sense of humour and so nice to our clients as well. Hi Greg, as part of your show today, please could you mention the good and new cancer bus service to Galway, taking patients to their appointments from all over the county, leaving Letterkenny at 6 a.m. on Monday morning and returning on a Friday, taking over 4 hours one way. 12 months of the year through frost, snow, storms, patients staying at the Cancer Care Facility, Cancer Care West Facility. Liam, thank you for that. Thank you all and your lovely guests for a lovely, calming, informative and very positive programme. Well, that is our pleasure. A caller says he got his treatment in St Luke's in Dublin, where they see so many Donegal people. It shows how much cancer is in Donegal, and listen, there's a lot of cancer everywhere, and particularly on the western seaboard. There's statistics that point to that quite specifically. A caller asks, is there a financial services for cancer patients for financial aid? It's really expensive to travel for treatment, and different expenses that need to be considered. That's something we have discussed on this program before in different formats. We will certainly return to that in the future. A caller says she attends Cancer Care West, and Elaine's treatment for lymphadema is brilliant, and best wishes to all the staff, John, Patricia and Sinead. One last one here. Greg, I'm sure you feel very privileged to be among a wonderful group of people in a wonderful service this morning. Yes, we all do, in fact. As a user of Cancer Care West, Letterkenny, can I add that they were truly a lifeline for me when I received a shock diagnosis 12 months ago. From the talking therapies to the groups I attend, the support in CCW goes beyond the call. I'm a user that felt I would never be comfortable attending such groups, but I feel I have to say that the respect, dignity, kindness and time that CCW gives is sincere, true and heartfelt. It offers a safe space where it is okay to say I'm not feeling okay, as often we're trying to protect our loved ones at home. Thank you sincerely to the whole team in CCW for what you do so very well. Thank you, Greg, for hosting the show today and spreading awareness of this incredible service. Anne-Marie, thank you for taking so much time to send such a lovely, detailed message. It is the 9 till noon show here on Highland Radio, and we have more guests on the way. But first, let's take a quick break.
The brand new Therapy Clinic Letterkenny is celebrating with a grand opening from 6 to 8 p.m. on Thursday, July 25th. Come down and explore the brand new Irish-owned clinic. The 5,000 square foot clinic and the expert team are offering customers a wide range of aesthetic treatments such as anti-wrinkle injections, laser hair removal, advanced skin treatments and free consultations. To find out more, visit therapyclinic.com.
House to Home Bridgend, Donegal. Our modest front door opens onto 2 floors of Irish-made furniture, suites, beds, mattresses, dining and occasional furniture. Step into our showroom and see how we can transform your house into a home. House to Home furniture, flooring, slide robes and interiors, Bridgend, Donegal.
Is that the new Opel?
Yes, of course, sir.
Does it really look that good?
Yes, of course, sir.
Is it fun to drive?
Yes, of course, sir.
Is it packed with smart tech?
Yes, of course, sir.
Can I test drive it right now at Heron Auto Opel?
Yes, of course, sir.
The new Opel Corsa, now available. See heronopel.ie for details.
Michael Murphy Sports has you covered for all your training and matchday essentials. From GAA training jerseys to shorts, socks, mouthguards, gloves and top training equipment. Hone your skills with multi-sport goalposts or sharpen your aim with football and hurley rebounders at michaelmurphysports.ie.
Looking to advance your career? At Atlantic Technological University, we can help you. Choose from over 370 online and part-time courses across Donegal, Sligo, Galway and Mayo. Build accredited qualifications in science, health, engineering, computing, business, education, design and more. From short courses to masters, study in a supportive learning environment designed to suit you. Apply now at atu.ie/flexible learning. ATU. Embark on your learning journey your way.
Highland Radio Time Checks brought to you by EirGrid, the operator and developer of Ireland's electricity grid. EirGrid, powering up communities, powering up Ireland. The time is...
It's 18 minutes past 11. Welcome back. Good morning, Lisa Gallagher. Good morning. How are you keeping?
I'm fine, thank you.
It's
nice
good
to be
to
here.
have you in. Lisa, we've spoken before.
We have.
Yeah, and it's great to see you. You look fantastic.
Yeah, hair's coming back. I think last time I spoke to you, I had no hair.
Really?
Yes.
I am the least observational person you will ever meet.
No, well, I think I was on the phone, so you wouldn't have seen me.
Well, that explains a lot, Lisa. So how have you been keeping? You, relatively recent diagnosis, isn't it? You've had to pack an awful lot in a year and a bit.
Yes, I got my diagnosis in March last year, and I had 2 operations. I've had chemo and radiation. I finished my treatment in December.
And how's it's a big? Does it play a big toll on you, the treatment?
Oh yes. You're still recovering. Like
Yeah.
I think that up to 2 years, before you kind of start. Apparently, till you start feeling yourself again.
How important do you think it is that people give them that space to recover, from the actual treatment itself, to get back to as best as they can be?
It's hard. It's hard to know because you're kind of trying to get your head around it and trying to start feeling normal, and you want to take part in normal activities because you haven't done anything for a year. So it's nice to kind of get back and sort of socialise, but it's like baby steps. It takes time.
Yes, says the woman who set a September target to get back to work.
Yeah,
That's
go
quite
back to work
that's
in
quite a leap,
September.
not a baby step, Lisa.
It's
Practice what you preach, dear.
a dive in the pool.
No, but it's nice, isn't it? It's you've said that, and if you achieve it, fantastic. And if you need a bit more, that's fine too. You're another person that avails of the Tai Chi, Pilates, reflexology, massage, on top of the counselling. Are those sort of things that you'd done before, or has this come into your life as part of your healing process?
It's kind of part of my self-care. Like, I didn't even know this place existed before, obviously, my diagnosis. And it's like a godsend, finding this place and everybody here and all the support, to have the reflexology, to have all the treatments, the massage, the Tai Chi, the Pilates. I mean, it's just really helped me, like physically and emotionally, and also to meet other people who've been through similar experiences, and it's making those kind of connections with people, because although you've got your friends and family and they're supporting you as much as they can, unless you've been through the journey, you don't know kind of what it really feels like.
And obviously this classes are scheduled and stuff, but do you find you dip in when you need it most, so that when yourself, do you know what, I think I might head down to the centre today?
Well, there was times when I was going through my chemo and I had my reflexology booked in, and I could barely get myself out of bed and drag myself up the stairs. My thing when I used to come here is I'm not taking the lift, I'm always going to use the stairs. That was always my challenge. Yeah. And sometimes that was a big challenge. But once I'd come in and I had my reflexology, I would feel amazing afterwards. So you might not feel like it at the time, but once you have the treatment, it really does lift you and make you feel better.
Oh, that's lovely, Lisa. I'm delighted to see you looking and feeling so well. I know you've got a bit of the journey. It's an ongoing thing to go, but we really appreciate your time. Stay where you are, though, just for the moment, because Graham Thompson is with us as well. Hi, Graham.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. What about you?
I'm doing not so bad myself.
I think I've put reverb on your mic. Do you sing? Because this mic is... Do you know where the reverb button is? No? Anyway, there's reverb on your mic, so you're not in a tunnel. Non-Hodgkin's and lymphoma. What is that, and how did you find out?
Well, it developed where I basically was getting tumours on the bone, and what was happening was I had weakened the bone, and I had very simple slips and just balanced myself, and I got fractures through the back. So I went for scans to see, and they found the fact that there was a tumour. They found a slight, what could be a tumour, and then they did a full scan and they found a massive tumour on the back.
Wow, and what was that like, being told that?
It was okay. It was a surreal moment, but it was okay. I coped with it better than you would. I think it's one of those things that you always think in your head, how would you cope?
And then
if you were ever. And then when I got there and I was told, I was okay. I was okay with it. It was telling the family was the emotional part. So if you have a little girl and you have to tell her you have to go through chemo and you're looking into their eyes, and
doesn't get much tougher than that.
It's hard. Yeah. And she gave me the biggest hug. And it was really so good to have that support from the family.
And was it your wife kind of made the first inquiries about this place, or how did that happen?
So because it was during COVID, your partner really wasn't allowed to come in.
Yes.
So you were very isolated, and it meant that your partner wasn't being kept up to date, and you had to keep your partner up to date. She was passing and she was very upset. I was up getting bloods actually done in the hospital. She was passing, she'd seen the sign, and she came in and talked to the nurse. And that helped her, and it was the first time we got documentation.
Isn't that amazing? So you were up getting bloods, she couldn't go in with you, just happened to buy and walked up.
She'd seen the sign, and she said,
Okay,
you know this, I'm going to go up. And then the following week, I also came with her to go to talk to the nurse, and that was really where we started to feel that we're starting to get control over the diagnosis, because when you're in the hospital, they tend to just... It's one after the other. You know, it feels like you're in a machine.
It's a clinical setting, right? And they deal with an awful lot of people. So what do you avail of here? Obviously the chats and stuff. There's a men's group. How's that? It's a group of guys who get together. So I presume you know you're at different stages, so you can help a guy out if they're at the beginning, or maybe there's someone ahead of you and you can chat and run it through.
So initially, when John put it together, who's fantastic, by the way, he gets you through so many tight spots. I couldn't talk highly enough of the man. He tried to put us together with people with similar experiences. If you have to go through like extreme chemo and your hair's falling out, my beard fell out.
Wow.
You know, just one morning, just
gone,
boom, and it just comes out.
Which is just, and you know, people get that with the hair as well. It's one of the, you know, you're standing in the shower and it's, I've talked to women, and it's interesting to get a guy's perspective as well, who have, of all of it, that was the worst part for them, the hair falling out. Isn't it funny how it affects
I'm
people?
not going to say it was the worst part.
No,
there
but
was plenty of other things that was worrying.
No, but it can be.
But it's the sign that you are going through something that is so extreme, and that your body's coping with something that's so extreme, that your hair starts to fall out, and it's quite worrying. However, the hair in the nose fell out, and I quite enjoyed not having any hair in the nose.
Well, listen,
it was an
odd. We could talk for an hour, but you've been through the ringer, particularly with COVID, having to go in on your own, probably a longer diagnosis than it should have been, and of course you went through an intensive treatment program. How are you now? How are you getting on now?
Really, really well. I'm fairly much back to, I'm not going to say normal, because there's still aches and pains there, and you're never going to come out the other side of it. The other part is that going through chemotherapy, it's a very humbling experience. So it really alters your perspective. So it's just, you know, you're sitting there and you're getting chemo, and then you're looking around at all these sick people, and you don't consider yourself being sick in that room, and you're so sympathetic and empathetic to everybody else in that room that you take the onus off yourself completely, because you don't see yourself as being sick. It's an odd experience.
But I suppose it's our mind works with us and against us at times, and maybe that's part of it, working with us. And your cancer incredibly rare as well.
Yeah.
I think 4 a year diagnosed.
There's roughly about 4 that get this type where it's on the bone. Usually it's within the lymphatic system. So this was rare to get it on the bone, and it has its own. I'm very lucky, by the way, by the fact of it just took extreme chemo to get rid of it.
Yeah, okay, listen, thank you for that. We also have Dr. Nasrullah Zishan, who's originally from Pakistan, in Ireland since February 2022. And I thought, Doctor, initially I was going to be speaking to you as a medical professional, which of course you are, but you are also a person that had to spot symptoms in yourself.
Yes, so, I mean, what happened to me initially was that I was working in a hospital in a distant county, and then what happened to me, slowly I experienced symptoms like night sweats, fever, and I stopped eating. My appetite was really poor, and as a consequence of that I lost quite a bit of weight. And initially I didn't pay much heed to those symptoms. I thought maybe it's just an infection and it can go away. I took a course of antibiotic, and maybe it masked the fever for a week or so. Then the fever reappeared and it never went away. So I came to know that something is definitely wrong, and then I went to the hospital, got bloods and scans done, and initially the diagnosis was very much overwhelming for me because it was stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. And
what does that mean? Because my understanding is that non-Hodgkin lymphoma is generally very treatable. In the earlier stages, is it? Or even at stage 4 stage?
Yeah, if you go through the, medical statistics, it will tell you that Hodgkin's and non-Hodgkin lymphoma can be similar in initial symptoms, but Hodgkin's lymphoma is a more treatable and more treatable form of the lymphoma. It has, even if it's in 4th stage, the prognosis, the chances of survival are much better as compared to any other forms of cancer. So this was the only thing that gave me a really good hope, to be honest. Otherwise, stage 4 lymphoma already spread throughout my body, in my bones, in my spleen. It was a big, overwhelming news for me.
Yeah. How important then was it? To get involved in the services of Cancer Care Northwest then?
Yeah. So when I started my treatment, I was told that this treatment can give you this and that sort of life-threatening side effects. I was very much scared, and then to the hospital, I was referred to Cancer Care West. I got very good support from my family initially, and the hospital, the doctors, and the psychologists in the hospital. Then I can't thank Cancer Care West enough, because they were of great help, to be honest. They were of great help. The sessions, the talk here with a great psychologist, John, Patricia, and the fellows who were going through maybe the similar experiences as me, and who were through the different stages of cancer. And they told me that with good support, you can beat cancer like us. And that was too much encouraging for me.
Brilliant. And you're feeling good now?
Yeah. Thanks God, thanks Almighty, and thanks to Cancer Care West and the doctors in Letterkenny University Hospital who treated me. I am back to myself.
Guess who's back?
Yes. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, brilliant. That's fantastic.
Thanks a lot.
And I suppose as a doctor, to be on the other end of it must have been a bit weird for you as well.
Yes, as a doctor, usually I was at the giving end of the treatment, and now being diagnosed with cancer and starting treatment in September last year, being at the receiving end of the treatment, initially it was not a great experience for me. Being poked with needles every now and then, that was the worst part.
There's about 15,000 listeners going, now he knows how it feels. Listen, I'm delighted, Doctor, that you're feeling well and back at work. We need you. Dr. Nazrullah Zishan, I beg your pardon. Lisa Gallagher, great to speak to you again. Best wishes for your next stage and getting back to work in September. All right, great stuff. And it's been really nice speaking to you too as well, Graham. All right, thank you so very much indeed. Take care, all of you. All right, it is the 9 till noon show. It's a very special show. I didn't realise how special it was going to be until I actually came here. And we are broadcasting live from Cancer Care West in Letterkenny. It's part of Your Voice, Your Community. By the way, if you want to help the work that this association, this organisation does, and you want to get out for a walk, and I've been roped into it too now, don't forget Noel Cunningham's Donegal Camino is coming up at the start of September. They raised 80 grand last year, and they're hoping to go to 100 this year. And you can check out Donegal Camino .ie for more information. All right, it is the 9 till noon show. So many people to chat to, so we better get this break out of the way. We'll be right back.
Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook, and at highlandradio.com.
Every day's an exciting adventure with the National Trust. Spend summer exploring magnificent mansions, glorious gardens, tree-lined trails, and riverside rambles. Hop into the wildlife heptathlon at Mount Stewart, or walk the plank by the River Blackwater at the Argery. Pick up pond dipping kits at Florence Court. Take aim at archery at Castle Ward, or try lazy lawn games at Rowan Garden. With lots of "Can we come again?" on the way home. Search National Trust NI to find out more. National Trust, for everyone, forever.
Ag teacht ar ard an a dó, blothan na fianne.
Tá má dul ar seo.
Beidir go bheith cumíre for Mary.
Ah, Mary! Tá sí anólach. Cabal tú dal?
Tá mis go leir in lína lásadóireachta.
Seo mi cheansa.
Tú ma bheannacht go bhéir.
Bálína náireacht le chéile sin. Fáda hiicid chuig 8 nua ar Heritage Week Puncaí. An 7 lá dé go dtín 25 láide lúnasa. Tá 7 náisiúnta na haireachta ina chláirde chud na cóirle aireachta. Le takeach don líonra efigach aireachta údar a seáitiúla agus an riontííochta rialta sáitiúla agus aireachta.
Hi, Paddy here at Shane Conley Cars in Donegal Town. Are you looking to upgrade your car? With Shane Conley Cars, you'll find makes and models for every budget. Great finance options, and we also accept trade-ins. Check out shaneconleycars.com or call in to us at Shane Conley Cars from Lonaher Road, Donegal Town.
That's the sound of someone sleeping soundly on a Restex mattress. Choose from the Donegal range. A Teelan, a Kinnigo, or a Mulroy mattress. It'll change the way you sleep forever. Restex beds, mountaintop Letterkenny. Leave the rest to us.
If you're running low on worktop space, the new Ninja double stack air fryer is perfect. Raymond Sweeney here from Ben Sweeney Aeronix. With 2 stacked drawers and 2 meal racks, it evenly cooks 4 layers of food at the same time. Perfect for up to 8 people, saving up to 55% on energy costs compared to conventional ovens. See the new Ninja double stack air fryer at Ben Sweeney Aeronix, Port Road, Letterkenny, or in the shopping centre, Dunlow.
Leisureland Redcastle, open every day all summer long. Perfect for family day trips. Offers excellent value for birthday party packages. For a memorable family experience this summer, visit Leisureland Redcastle. See leisurelandredcastle.ie for more details.
Okay, you're very welcome back to the programme. We were supposed to hear from Ben Sweeney and Air Fryers, but it's not running, so if anyone back at base wants to check out what's going on there. Right, okay, let's continue with our conversations, and we'll say hello first to Conor McDermott, who's doing a charity cycle in aid of Cancer Care West. I'm doing fantastic. So what are you doing?
Yeah, so I'm setting off on August 8th on my bicycle. I'm going from Donegal Hospital, cycling down to Galway, the University Hospital and Cancer Care West down there, and then back up and finishing here in Letterkenny.
We would let you away with starting in Galway and just coming up the road, but you decided to make it a little bit more difficult. And I suppose it's a triangle of where many of us get our treatments as well. Which
Precisely, that's
it's
exactly
no coincidence.
So it's, the word of hearing all day here today, it's a journey. So this is a bit of a different journey, but more, I suppose, an elective one that I'm doing voluntarily, as opposed to a journey where a cancer sufferer has to make.
Yeah, for sure.
Particularly a Donegal-based cancer sufferer as well. It's
an
arduous
are
journey.
you going off the beaten track on this, or are you using the traditional road? Someone says the cycle will be off the beaten track.
Well, I suppose logistically, as we know, particularly going from Letterkenny to Galway isn't the best road in Ireland by a long shot.
For sure.
But yeah, I'll be pretty much doing it on my own, so it's going to be local roads. But I'm blessed because I wouldn't be a professional cyclist, but I've family and friends who are helping me out and setting those routes out, and my sister-in-law Una is doing all that tracking. So.
Yeah. And you know, as it was evident in your family and through Elaine, because of our geographical location, often there's an awful lot of travel involved, isn't there?
Huge.
In just getting better.
And it is. Suffering cancer is tough enough. Unfortunately, in Donegal, I think Jim McGuinness called us a republic up here a couple of weeks ago after that Galway game. But yeah, you have to make that journey. And Cancer Care West is brilliant there because logistically, the bus can bring you down on a Monday morning. You might have radiotherapy treatment, 15, 20 minutes. And without the lodge, people would have such a financial burden and the logistical burden. And yes, it would be fantastic if that facility was all here in Letterkenny, and it's not. But definitely the roads could be definitely improved.
For sure.
You know, there's 30k or 80k.
Yeah, but you've two jobs here, raising money and raising awareness, because even this morning there's people learning about this facility. We're going to talk to one of them in a sec. I just want you to tell people how they can how they can back you.
Yeah, so everything has been done. I've set up an I Donate page through Cancer Care West, so I can share that link, and every single penny that goes into them is going to go to Cancer Care West.
You send it to us, and we'll get it up on our social media as well.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Greg.
And as I say, it's no coincidence the Derry, Letterkenny, Galway triangle there. All right, Frankie Doherty is with me too. Frankie, how are you?
Not so bad, Greg.
And this is your first time coming here. Tell us how you ended up here.
Well, I ended up here
simple reason I was listening to Highland Radio and heard it advertised yesterday, and I was sitting listening to the programme this morning and listened to some of the people who were on, some of the people who would have came through treatment, who would have given me treatment. I'm in treatment up here in Letterkenny for the last 4 years, and going well. And so some person on this morning talking about treatment every 3 weeks, every 3 weeks, and a scan every 3 months. That's exactly the same road that I'm on, and everything is going great, fantastic. But I wasn't aware that this facility was here at all till this morning.
Well, it's nice, as you say, I think you recognise maybe an awful lot of your experience in other people's voices today, and this is an opportunity for you to come up here and avail of these services too. It's hard to manage everything on your own sometimes, even when we've got people around us, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean by that.
No, it's been a good journey for me so far. I've been very lucky. The cancer I have is lung cancer, and the treatment's working, and long may it continue.
Brilliant. Okay, well, lovely to see you. I know you call in to see us at Highland. Nice to see you down here as well. Yeah. Will you be back here?
I will do.
Okay.
I was talking to the girl coordinating it, and she told me that there's no group now till September. So certainly we'll be back in September.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, fantastic stuff. And do you want to add something there, Connor?
If I could, please. Greg, I mentioned all the support I'm getting. I'm a novice cyclist on this, but I am getting a bit of local support. DMG Motors are giving us a van. Sister Sarah's next door are helping us out, and Tinny Oil are supporting us a bit as well, so appreciate all that.
Another reminder as to why it's important to support local businesses, because it is they that dig us out when we need them, their help the most. Okay, listen, well done to you. Let us know closer to the time, and we'll give it another big plug, of course. Thank you very much, Frankie. Good to see you. A caller says her late husband had cancer, and they spent a lot of time in the lodge, and the care and kindness and support is unforgettable. Greg, where could I get a pack? My husband is a calcium patient. He's on steroids and has very light skin. He'd love to get one of the packs. Thank you, Greg. That comes in from Mary. Well, we'll get one of those. Let me see what time. Yeah, well, I'll take a break so you can set up. Forever, what matters most. Listen, we'll sort something out there. Leave that with me, okay? Greg, is just marvellous that you're doing the show today from CCW. Just so uplifting to hear all the wonderful good stories and success. Blessings to everyone. And that's it. And it's tough, right? But there's support and there's hope. And there are people here that want to help you. A lot of people calling us, they don't know where Cancer Care West is. Can you give directions, and can we call in any time, or is it by appointment only? Where's John? John, come over here a second, John. I have to answer a question here. John, it's just a question. You can be off mic. Do people have to make an appointment, or can they just call in here?
Both. They can actually just call in if they so choose.
Just
for a drop-in,
yeah.
And then fairly immediately we can set up an appointment either with myself or with my colleague,
yeah.
or even.
But just call in the first instance,
yes.
Like Frankie just did.
Yeah.
And also, how would you describe the location?
Sorry.
Where are we? If someone was travelling here, how did they find it? Upstairs.
Upstairs, second floor, Pierce House, beside the Chili Shaker restaurant, opposite Tesco's. That's pretty much us.
Okay. Well, if you said to be opposite Tesco's, it wouldn't be here. I'd end up. But I take your point. Next up.
People usually is beside the Chili Shaker restaurant.
Okay,
really,
brilliant.
Or beside Sister Sarah's. So
yeah.
that's
you won't miss it. And
geography is not my strong suit.
Well,
psychology is, but
well, you speak to the wrong person. Listen, thanks, John, because I'm worse than you are. I can guarantee you that. Right, we've got 3 more lovely guests to chat to. We're going to take a very quick break. Stay right where you are. We'll be back here on the 9 till noon show after these messages.
It's time to transform your smile with the help of Blue Poppy Dental, Letterkenny and Donegal Town. Their expert team offer orthodontics, teeth whitening, implants and composite bonding, all in-house. Start your journey by calling 07497 40404 or easily book your appointment online at a time that suits you through their user-friendly patient portal at bluepoppydental.com. Blue Poppy Dental and Orthodontics, Letterkenny and Donegal Town. Proud supporter of the Donegal LGFA football camps.
Missed the 242 Kia pre-sales? Don't worry. It's not too late to drive home in a brand new Kia at iMotors. Enjoy 0% finance on any electric vehicle and receive a free home charger. iMotors proudly hold the prestigious title of World Car of the Year with the EV9 and offer Donegal's best-selling car, the Kia Sportage. Visit imotors.ie and get immediate delivery.
Are you worried about trees on your property? Northwest Forestry Services Ballybuffet are fully insured and have over 40 years experience in dangerous tree removal, tree felling, surgery and stump grinding. For peace of mind, call Northwest Forest Services Ballybuffet for a no obligation quotation on 913233.
Brian McCormick Sports, your home for fitness trainers. The new impressive Ghost 16. Soft and smooth experience with every step. Oka Clifton 9. Even lighter for everyday miles in new summer colours. Get your free delivery on bmcsports.ie.
It's the 50% off mega summer sale at Right Price Tiles and Wood Flooring. Up to 50% off all tiles, wood flooring, outdoor porcelain tiles, cladding and bathware. Everything in store has been slashed in price. The Right Price Tiles and Wood Flooring 50% off mega summer sale. Stores nationwide. Sale extended until Sunday.
Highland Radio weather updates brought to you by McElhenney's. Support a local Donegal business with McElhenney's. From fashion to home essentials, find everything you need for any occasion. Shop McElhenney's Ballybuffet for quality you can trust.
Okay, can't believe we're almost at the end of the programme. But we still have guests for you to meet. The weather mostly cloudy for a time today with a little light rain, drizzle and some mist in places. Have to be careful with that one. However, some good spells of sunshine will develop through the afternoon. Some scattered showers will develop too. Some will be heavy. You see, this is an Ulster weather forecast rather than a northwest specific one, so I think the weather's going to be better than that. We're in the last segment of the 9 till noon show. We're live from Cancer Care West in Letterkenny as part of the Your Voice, Your Community in association with Commissioner Mann. And if you want to be here or get here, we are just next to the Chili Shaker, lovely restaurant, and just down from Sister Sarah is kind of the next building up to the left as you face on. And it's very welcoming. Call in. And you can have a wee chat, and if anything needs to be arranged, well then so be it. That'll be grand too. Margaret, a Cancer Care West service user. Good morning, Margaret.
Good morning. How are you, Greg?
I'm okay. Now, you gave me a warning. That'd be nice to you. How am I doing so far?
You're doing very well.
Good. You're doing well too. Don't worry about that. Right, so what do you do here?
What do I do? Well, I had a cancer diagnosis 3 years ago, and after surgery and radiotherapy, I suffered very badly with neuropathy, and in the oncology ward they suggested I contact Cancer Care West, which I did, and the lovely Patricia, who always meets and greets us here, welcomed me on board and organised for me to start a course of reflexology, which helped me greatly. And then I discovered all the other facilities they had here, which was marvellous. John runs our cancer support group, which I have found invaluable.
Why is it? So why does that work? So why does it work for you? Is it the kinship? Is it people understanding you? Or?
Yes. Well, there's a mix of things there. I suppose when you get a diagnosis of cancer, you it is life-changing, but it's difficult to talk to other people about it initially. And you don't want to frighten your family. You try to protect your children. My family are very supportive. My children are grown up. But still, you don't want to burden them with, your worries. And you find people in here who are very happy to listen to your concerns, listen to your worries, and also offer what little support they can and what advice they can, and just generally tips on how to manage your day-to-day living.
And you said people shouldn't be scared to come to Cancer West. Did you have, was part of you a wee bit reticent about?
No, I wasn't too apprehensive, but I have spoken to people.
You've seen it in others.
Yeah, I would be reasonably confident, and I came in very happily, but I have spoken to others who were reluctant to come initially and did join up or came for the services, whether the massage by Sinead or the reflexology or the Tai Chi, and they benefited greatly from them, but initially they needed maybe a little bit of encouragement to come. And I would say to anybody that the reception you'll get in here is like what you'll get in your mum's sitting room at home. It is,
exactly, and so many comfortable chairs. I referenced it earlier, but top quality chairs.
There's people to listen to you. Patricia will make you a cup of tea. You can have a wee cry, and we've had some great laughs here too.
I would say so. Listen, Margaret, thank you very much for calling in. I really do appreciate it. And Caroline, if Margaret wants to move on, that's fine. If she's Kira Barber is with us as well. Hi, Kira.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing okay, Kira. I feel like we've spoken before.
We have, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Last year.
That's right, okay. Talk to me about this place for you.
Yeah, so basically one day
Just come a wee bit closer to me.
I thought I was grand, as you do, after my chemo and radio and operation. And then I broke down one day and I rang here, found this number here, cried. And Patricia answered the phone, and before she could even introduce herself, I was in floods of tears. And she was like, I'm just the receptionist. And I will get you the support you need. So within
so you must have just been so pent up that the first person answers the phone.
I was like, blah, 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 blah.
I love it.
Yeah, so then, since then, they've been so supportive. And John, straight away, I was in with counselling with him. And then I started Pilates here then in probably last year, every second Wednesday, and it's been great.
Yeah.
Really,
now,
really
as
good.
I says, there's all different people from all different
Yeah,
backgrounds.
yeah.
You're one of the youngest in the room, right?
Yeah.
So people listening that are your peers might go, well, that's not for me. But it's clear looking around.
Yeah.
It's
They're
for everybody.
So friendly, so friendly and helpful. I didn't think I needed help, but clearly I did. But no, it's been great. Do you know what I mean?
And it was you I was talking about. It's not that product, but because when I was speaking to this lady a little earlier on, I knew I'd spoken to someone, and now you turn up. It's a coincidence.
So I also do e-care packages.
Yeah.
I don't have any with me today because I'm based. Today was about Cancer Care West.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I get that.
Yeah.
That's all right.
So that's what I do as well.
It's all falling into place.
It is.
For my
Yeah.
How are you feeling now?
Great. Yeah.
Do you still feel that you like to call in? And
I call in here all the time as well.
Yeah.
Even when I'm not doing the Pilates, I'd still call in if I was in Letterkenny.
But do you find that you start speaking to people maybe that aren't quite far down the road as you are? Like, do you find yourself reassuring or talking or helping other people too?
Yeah.
I just can imagine it's that type of place, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is.
Where,
Yeah.
you know, okay, brilliant. Keir, it's great to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling in. Avril Pearson, you are a regular here as well?
Yes, I am, Greg, yes.
Okay. You were first diagnosed in May 2023. Another whirlwind year. Everything's freaking turned upside down, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's it been like for you?
I think in the beginning, I was kind of slightly in denial, that even though I was going through chemotherapy, that this wasn't going to affect me as much as it did. I think I had got the lump quite small, but it was aggressive, so I needed to go through chemotherapy. And I was so focused on week to week getting through the chemotherapy and putting on a brave face for everyone that when I first did a meeting with John, I come home and I said, you know what, this isn't for me. This, I'm...
Here wasn't for you?
No, I said,
right.
I don't even need it. I'm buzzing, and like that, I found a mole on my foot and I went into free fall. I just panicked, even though the oncologist said it was nothing to worry about, my doctor said it was nothing to worry about. The nurse in Letterkenny said, I think you need to speak to John. And I rang John and he was like, come in tomorrow. And I said, right, okay. And we sat down and he was like, well, you can go and you can get the mole looked about again if you want, but really is it I had a fear of dying, and once he put it simply to me, I just burst out crying like that. I think I've cried more with John than anyone in my entire life, because you build...
But you need that release, don't you?
You build it up in your head
and
and
you
your
have to get
body,
it out,
and sometimes you think you're actually fine, and you're going about your day-to-day business, and maybe something triggers you, like a famous person dies, and it seeps into you that this could happen to you, but you don't want to worry anyone else because you're finished chemo, you're finished radiotherapy, your hair is coming back, your eyebrows are coming back, you're looking fabulous, and you're like inside you're going, well,
okay, brilliant.
no, and it's just great to come in here and
Tai
talk
Chi,
to everyone.
Pilates, you avail of that as well?
Yes, I've just started one class under my belt of each. I mentioned to John my balance wasn't great, and he said I think you'd really benefit from the Pilates and the Tai Chi, so I just started them. And like that, I was kind of a bit nervous of starting them because I'm not as fit as I was from, if you've lymph nodes removed and PICC lines in, you lose your strength. So coming in here where people are on the same level as you, and nobody's looking at you or have you the right clothes or anything. They're just so welcoming, and the instructors are very patient, and it's tailored to your ability.
Yeah.
You know, it's not advanced or anything. You know, it's great.
Yeah, and it's a lot of the wee hurdles we put in our own way, don't we? Just listening to a lot of the different stories, we kind of doubt ourselves or don't trust ourselves, or maybe don't back ourselves.
Yeah.
And this place backs you.
Yes.
That's what it feels like. It backs you when you don't back yourself sometimes. Vril, lovely to speak to you.
Thank you
and
very much.
continued good health to you.
Thank you.
You are both looking fabulous, by the way. It's, you know what's actually kind of interesting? Like, I've had people around me with cancer, and I know what it is and I know what it's like, but it's amazing. Like, I could walk past you two down the street, right, and you look the picture of health.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a clue that you had gone through a brain tumour, that you had to teach yourself to speak again, or Avril, what you've been through, and the struggles, you know. So listen, I think that's been really insightful for me. Go ahead, Avril.
It's actually when you go to if you go for radiotherapy, you actually meet people in the waiting room, and you realise that there's so many people in Donegal that are going through treatments that you have no idea, and I would strongly encourage them to come here.
Right, we're going to take the last break, and then we're going to come back with music. We're going to finish off with Fly Me to the Moon. Yeah, is that what we're going to do? No? I thought they... I wanted Fly Me to the Moon. All right, we'll be back. I'm only joking. It's all fantastic. Back after these.
Is that the new Opel?
Yes, of course.
Does it really look that good?
Yes, of course.
Is it fun to drive?
Yes, of course.
Is it packed with smart tech?
Yes, of course.
Can I test drive it right now at Heron Auto Opel?
Yes, of course.
The new Opel Corsa, now available. See heronopel.ie for details.
And Sean has just arrived into the bar for a quick hello to the work crowd. He won't stop, he has a match in the morning. But wait, he's got the nod off the barman that there's Guinness 0-0 on tap. The chats are back on. Johnny's in full swing and a fresh pint is handed over the bar. Guinness 0-0, 100% Guinness, 0% alcohol. Proud partner of the GAA.
Visit drinkaware.ie.
Thank you for attending this meditation session for badgers who forgot to check for gas pipes before digging, without knowing how disruptive it could be, putting others at risk and doing it unknowingly for all their working life. And it could have been avoided had they just checked in the first place. Let's begin.
Always check for gas pipelines before you break ground. Visit gasnetworks.ie/dig for more information.
McCullough Jewellers in Letterkenny are synonymous with fine jewellery, quality watches and giftware. With stores at Main Street, Letterkenny and the Letterkenny Shopping Centre, or online at ormccullough.com. You can choose from their quality product range in a relaxed atmosphere, and their sales staff will be happy to help you make the right choice, whatever the occasion. McCullough Jewellers, making moments magical for generations.
Easy Living Furniture's sizzling summer sale ends this Sunday. Don't miss out as absolutely everything's reduced across sofa, dining, bedroom, mattress and accessories. Summer sale ends Sunday at Easy Living Furniture, Crescent Link Retail Park, Derry, Londonderry, or online at easylivingfurniture.co.uk.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, Easy Living has it all. Easy Living Furniture, luxury furnishings, affordable luxury.
Okay, you are very welcome back. John, just a final goodbye. Thank you so much for hosting us.
Thanks ever so much, Greg, to you and the team, Caroline, Sharon and Mark, for coming over. Really, really appreciate the time and effort you've all taken to join us. It's been absolutely delightful morning. I really hope that everybody has had good crack, met some new people perhaps, had a chance to hear some absolutely fantastic music. Thanks ever so much to Orla and the band. I just think they were so absolutely superb, really. And we're just so honoured to really be of assistance to people. And long may we continue to really prosper and offer really good world-class services.
And support what they're doing, folks. Please support what they're doing. It's amazing. And John, to a man and woman, people think that you're extra human, you're an amazing person. You've helped an awful lot of people. I hope you realise that. I'm sure you do.
It's very humbling, actually. I hadn't really copped onto it, Greg, to be fair.
You've touched an awful lot of people.
Seems to be. It's not, and I just want to say it's not just me. It's not just me.
Well, let's just about you for a second. Okay. Everyone else has got mentioned, right? Just for a second, it's you, John. Well done to you. We've thanked everybody else as well. Big round of applause for John.
Thanks ever so much. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
And I'm sure your staff, they'll get their plaudits in the time ahead. Right, okay. It's time for Billy Joel for the longest time. We're going to finish this with the sextet, right? So whoever's back in space, if you want to let it run, it's up to you. It's not my, if you cut it off, be on your head, be it's not my decision. All right, here it is. All right, folks, thank you very much indeed. We're back in studio tomorrow. Take it away whenever you're ready.
Donegal Camino at the Highland Radio News Desk. Pat the Cope Gallagher says it was